Welcome to a Delco Nerd Network Hot Take. Ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't seen a hot take before, well, it's where a few friends get in a basement and we give our thoughts, we give our opinions on a TV show, a movie, or a game. Today, it's going to be a game, and that game is 2023's Game of the Year, Baldur's Gate 3. Here to discuss, as always, the triple threat, Chris Trio.
I'm trying to cast a spell right now, Gooch. I'm excited to talk some Baldur's Gate 3.
I roll a
counterspell.
Counterspell. Oh, okay, counterspell. Fine, fine. Back again in the sack, the cream to DNN's Oreo. You may even say it's double stuffed because he's now appeared twice in pretty much 1 week. Matt Penza.
I hope they're more double stuffed than the Oreos we saw playing D&D.
Those were single stuffs.
They were like 3/4 stuff.
They were. I was like, what happened?
I
don't like double stuffed Oreos.
Yeah, when I picked them up the other day to like put them away and stuff, I was like, should I just throw these?
What's even the point?
Should I just toss these? And of course, just talking right there, that is our DM, our dungeon master, Mike Mandell. Thanks for coming back on.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys. It's a real honor.
You guys both have been on twice in 2024. How do you feel?
Yeah, feels good.
It's an honor. We accept our thank you present. It's been actually awesome.
Yeah. Maybe like, you know, monetary donation. Anyway. And of course, my name is Anthony Ragucci. And yeah, man, this game came out so long ago, and it's been such in the conversation for so long. It's kind of nice to sit down and finally like talk about this. And I'm actually glad we're talking about it. Like, not at the end of its thing, but like the hype is like down now, right? Like the game has like proved itself. Everyone loves it. It's won Game of the Year and plenty of other awards. But yeah, I don't even know how to start this. This game is so big.
Taking off of what you just said, I mean, it's incredible that it is the end of this. I mean, I don't know how many years ago did it release on early access.
The early access was probably, I would say, 1.5 to 2 years.
It was at least, because I remember I was living in Philly when it was. There's a guy on YouTube called ESO. I don't know if you know him. He does like a lot of like RPG stuff, and that's like my first introduction to it. Was he was doing a playthrough of like part of Act 1. He would just keep playing it and doing different stuff.
Right.
And I was like, this
game was
interesting.
It was on,
and
that
had to be
only.
That was like 2 or 3 years ago, dude.
Yeah, it was a while ago. Because one of the guys I do Kung Fu with, he who got me into Dungeons and Dragons and everything in the first place, showed me that original trailer. It must have been 3 years ago, and I could not believe it. And he played early access the entirety of the time, which is really cool. Wow. But what I was getting with though is like 3 years later, and we're sitting down talking about the end of it. Yet, you know, on the way here, I'm still seeing content that I haven't seen before.
Yeah, I was talking to my cousin
crazy.
last night, and like my cousin, who I would shout out to John. I wouldn't say he's like a hardcore gamer, definitely a casual gamer, and he's like, "Yo, man, I'm playing Baldur's Gate 3." And I'm like, "What?" And he's like, "Yeah, man." I'm like, "I love it." And we were talking about it, and he told me something that like I didn't even know about in Act 1. I was like, "Oh wow, yeah." And like just the way
there's so much. Dude.
Yeah,
it's had the same effect that I think Elden Ring has, but maybe a bit like. I don't want to compare like those moments, but very similar.
I think they are comparable. Like,
okay.
Yeah, and like just the only thing that obviously they're not comparable in the way that they style their combat is turn-based and non. But I feel like they're like the same in a way, just on that opposite spectrum. If that makes sense.
Yeah. Well, and it's interesting because you just work with Elden Ring. They just are like, "Fuck you, you're not getting any markers." But Baldur's Gate will be like, they'll point you in the right direction, but they still rely on you a lot to kind of figure some shit out for sure.
Point you in the right direction, Elden Ring. They got they literally point you in the right direction.
No, for sure.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, exactly. But are there quest markers in Elden Ring at all?
No,
there's
like environmental stuff.
Right. But no, it is interesting.
Yeah, I mean, the game has come a long way, and you know, we have come a long way. The game came out in August for PC, right? No. July, right? It was a few weeks before.
I think it was July.
Yeah.
I think it was like July, the last week of July.
And then
September was console, PlayStation.
Right, right. And I'm going to get to that. But at first, I wanted to start off, this is kind of like a redundant conversation for us four since we all play D&D together. But I wanted to talk about, like, okay, our D&D experience for the audience to be like, hey, like, we all do have D&D experience. So none of us are really jumping into these game mechanics blind. I mean, Mandell, you probably have the most to probably say that's unique to us three, since the only 2 campaigns the 3 of us have played are together. So I don't know if you want to start us off, like, you know, not, you don't have to go full breath into your D&D experience, but like, you know, how did that kind of help you get into Baldur's Gate, or, you know?
Yeah,
you know
so
what I'm saying?
I think in my particular like experience with it too as a dungeon master, honestly probably one of the best experiences ever. Like, not only was I playing a game that I thoroughly enjoyed, like loved the characters, loved the story, loved the mechanics, am used to the mechanics, but I felt like it's a really good guide stone too to help you build out, you know, being a dungeon master and learning how to really, because I feel like one of the hardest things as a dungeon master is the way that dialogue works, and like, should I add a roll in here, and like, should I have 50 different options of how things go? And I feel like Baldur's Gate encapsulates that 10 out of 10. Like, every choice that every word that you say like matters in some sort of way and will influence this, and then this choice is so different from this choice. And I think that was probably my biggest takeaway from like being a D&D player too, and then just learning like how to see how some of the spells and effects act like on a map, like a screen like that. That's not, you know, a table and some drawings and stuff like
2D
that.
Almost a simulation.
It's really cool. I feel like it helps you like make tactics, do all that kind of stuff.
I mean, I think it absolutely helped me with understanding even like attack rolling and stuff like that while we're playing Dungeons and
100%.
Dragons. And like, it took me the longest, I think, to get into this out of all 3 of us. I still haven't finished the game, but I am making my way through. There is something to having like us all at a table, because Gooch was like, I was kind of complaining about the turn based, and I'm like, I don't know. He's like, but you like Dungeons and Dragons. I'm like, that is a conundrum. I don't know why, and I think it is because you kind of have your teammates here with you. And I did lose like 2 hours of progress on a fight one night, so that was not fun.
Yeah,
and
that
I
was
just
I lost
brutal.
plenty of time.
well,
on
and it was
fights.
like I told you guys this, but I had saves like in between, but I was just fucked from the beginning. Like, I had to like restart the whole thing. And then I did punch the difficulty down a little bit to just the narrative-based one, because I was like, I'm just getting rocked. I just want to kind of enjoy the story here. But I do think it really does a great job of teaching you D&D mechanics if you know nothing at all.
Yeah.
Do you think it hits all of them, like as a D&D, like as a dungeon master?
Yeah, really, and that's what amazes me so much. I feel like they really didn't like miss a beat with it,
Right.
in terms of even like the slight, like your passive perception skill just like pops up in the middle of the screen. You just hear the roll, and it's like that is such a small detail, but such an important part of a character in Dungeons and Dragons. And I really think they did phenomenal. Like, I can't even believe it, really, how well they encapsulated that system.
Yeah, I wanted to mention Trio's point really quick. I mean, we'll probably would have touched base with this at some point in the review, but like the amount of time you lose on like failed encounters. So my total play time on PlayStation was 236 hours for one playthrough. My actual time was about 169 hours.
Right.
So I made that, what is that, like almost like 70 hours of mistakes or loading. Or like
And
account for
pausing
some
and
AFK.
stuff. Yeah.
But like that's a lot of time that I like went back.
Yeah.
Like usually they're like maybe like 10 to 20 hours difference,
Yeah.
like depending on the length of the game. But like that big jump, and I was like, plenty of encounters where I'm like an hour and a half in where I just had to totally restart.
Yeah.
Well, and you just have to be so much more tactical. Like, it's not
Especially in the beginning.
Yeah.
Towards the end, I mean, especially since you're super leveled up, you kind of find yourself being like really well acclimated at this point that I like the final few fights were a breeze for me. I didn't have any issues.
Funny enough, like going back to real D&D, like that's what happens though. Like once you start hitting those high levels, I feel like there's very little books that actually go that far because you're so strong. It's so hard to challenge you. And I think like same with me. The end was a breeze. I was able, like the last fight, scooped right across the room and I was done.
I didn't want to be there for 3 hours, even though it was like the last thing. It's like, I know what I'm doing at this point.
Yeah, and I think that's why it's a good thing. Like it's almost like you've earned it at this point.
Right.
You went through it. You're powerful.
I think like the last big fight that gave me a problem was Gortash.
Yeah.
At the end.
Yeah,
he had
he's
like a bunch of traps and shit. And I
same
was
for
like,
me,
dude.
man.
I
Actually,
don't remember that.
So
being-
like,
It
what
didn't
I-
give me a lot of trouble.
So
but
I just like
enough.
planted a bunch of shit. Like I like put a bunch of like fire barrel and shit. I was like, fuck this dude. It was like after like 5 or 6 attempts where I was like, his like little traps that he has are just pissing me off. I just like threw a bunch in there, shot it, and like he was done in like 15 seconds.
I actually figured out, I think, why I was getting fucked up. Where I kind of took another break just because I kept getting fucked up was Moonrise Tower. And as I was going in there down at the bottom, before even you get to Catherick, I was just getting wrecked. And I'm like, fuck. That's
Yeah,
why I
how'd you
turned
end up
down.
getting through it.
I turned down the difficulty, and I ended up just. It ended up being much more reasonable. I did die once or twice more.
Going down the
but
stairs.
I realized
Yeah.
I was too low leveled probably to start that, because I finished that all, and then I got to like Act 3. It's to move on, and it's like you're really underpowered. This will be better for you if you move forward.
Oh,
I'm
really?
Like,
you got a message.
oh.
That's interesting.
so I was
never
like,
got
and
that?
then
no,
well, so
I was,
that happened on the first one.
very
Just,
over leveled.
Yeah.
like when I found the
300
passage by
hours.
accident. Yeah, but also like the first one, you find the passage by accident. You're like, oh, I
did
don't need to go
everything.
through here yet, so it says bitter. But
I got that going in Act 2.
Okay, I
so
never got
that's
that.
so going into Act 3, and then I was like, well, what the fuck am I don't have like any markers on the map. I'm like, what have I missed here? I realized I didn't do the stuff with Halcyon and like clear the whole the curse.
the curse lands.
So I had to like
Shadow
figure
curse
out
lands.
No, I didn't
again
do
how
that
like
either.
it's so funny how they account for all this stuff. Like, so you have to talk to that man that's in the last light in. He's dead. So I'm like, what do I do?
Well,
and they're like, you got to go
he
back.
was
You
alive for me.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You're supposed to talk to him before he dies.
You speak to
I
the
speak
dead?
to the dead to him. I go back and
Ah.
talk to him. He tells me everything. I go talk to Halcyon, and I'm able to still complete the quest before I move
Awesome.
on.
Yeah.
Once I did that, you're good to go. Like, yeah, you're good. And I'm like, oh, okay. It's
amazing.
So I think if I finished that and kept my difficulty where I was at and I was appropriately leveled, I probably would have had an easier time with Moonrise Tower. But yeah.
I love this game because of situations like that where you can kind of like work around, like I guess use your creativity like you would in a session to kind of advance the plot, so to speak. But then there's other things where I feel like that same instance, and I'm not going to get into it right now. I'll get the specifics later. Where like the game kind of works against you and is like just sort of fucks you over out of things because the game really didn't tell you that this was on a time limit and now your chance is gone. It's like wait. You're telling me I had to do this, like going to Moonrise Towers. Like I had to go to the last place first to get the people out and then leave. Like it never occurred to me through dialogue or the quest text that I had to do that, and I was like, "This is stupid." I'm like, I just missed a quest.
And I do
out
agree
of
with you on that one.
ignorance. Like,
I mean, and they tell you in the game. Like,
right. But I'm like, this is Moonrise Towers. I'm ending here. Like, I'm not gonna go there until everything is done.
I will say I agree with Gooch, because like Gooch told me that, and I was like, oh, okay. Because in my mind, I thought like, okay, I'm gonna finish everything around the tower and then
Right.
make my final assault on the tower. I didn't think about like, oh, you can go just talk to the guys at the tower and possibly side with them. And
Yeah.
then there's also all this other things in it. So I agree with you, Gooch. Through context of like what they were saying, I probably wouldn't have shot right for the tower unless you said that to me.
Yeah.
and that's
And,
what.
and I didn't, and I in my experience was different than your guys, in which I got to the tower and it was just balls deep fight. Like
Right.
that's it. Like literally, as soon as I walked in that door, it was roll initiative.
Really?
I had to kill every single person in the tower. There was
Mine
just
was-
no other way. Like
Oh yeah, I
was
mean
this
that
after
happened for
you
me.
freed,
But
or did
yeah,
you?
so when I
yeah.
pulled up to Moonrise Tower, Jahira and like 10, 15 other
Right. Mm-hmm.
NPCs are in like the courtyard, like ready to go, and you talk to them, and they're like,
Yeah.
"All right, let's
That-
do it,"
that's
and
what
then
happened
they
to
run
me.
in,
That's what happened
and then
for
you
me.
have to kill literally everyone.
yeah,
Yeah,
That's
okay.
what happened to me.
So
yeah.
so you can, if you go there first, you can talk to like Catherick and all that stuff. You can have all these
Damn,
dialogue.
okay.
And,
I didn't
yeah,
know
and
this
he's,
was
and he's
new to
like,
me.
and he's like,
Yeah,
you
I
can
didn't-
help him, and you can side with him, and like,
and that's
do
how
all
you get
that-
Minthar.
and that's
That's
how
what I
you're
did.
told. I believe so, and
Yeah.
that's how you're told about his like. At least that's how I found out. You have to
Isabel?
go find his like the source of his power or whatever.
okay.
And then I went there and,
And
did
then
that
you do
whole
Shadow
line.
Hearts.
See, and it
stuff.
sucks because if you didn't do that, I feel like they really.
Oh, last
like,
last light.
I
is
feel like
the
there should have
biggest
been more
fucking
for
trap
Okay,
in the
J.K.
world.
Simmons.
so there's a
And
warning.
unbelievable.
There's a warning that you guys might have skipped when you're doing Shadow Hearts quest.
in the
Gives you a
sharding
warning.
trial.
Yeah, and it's like
Yeah, once you do this, it's gonna affect
Yeah,
things.
yeah.
yeah.
So that's where the change is. It has to.
So
be.
yeah, that he's
That was
right.
one of the last things I did. Like, actually, literally, the last thing I did before Moonrise was
So that's
that.
what-
Well,
that's
I-
exactly what I did.
So I went to Moon. I got that thing, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna go to Moonrise.
Oh, so if you
So
did
I
that
went to
quest
Moonrise.
first, it expedites everything.
So I went to
Exactly,
Moonrise,
yeah.
and then like everyone was like
Chill.
not hostile, and I was talking to people, and then like exploring, and
Making
Right.
friends.
you get the whole thing with
Okay.
Ketherick, where like there's a scene where like there's a little, I think it's a goblin,
Yeah.
like tries to like cut his head off, and like he just
Oh
like,
yeah, he
heals.
just takes
Yeah.
it.
It's
Oh,
good.
then,
that was great.
And then then you can go down to the dungeon.
Yeah, I didn't get any of
to
this.
the prison, and everything.
Right, the dungeon, yeah.
Yeah, I did free some of the prisoners, but like 2 of them are still missing, and that you have to find in like Baldur's Gate, if I remember
Yes.
correctly. They're like, oh, you didn't find any traces of so and so. I can't remember
Right.
the specific
I
character.
suck. I didn't because I didn't even
Well, but
save
again,
the Shadowlands.
But I agree with you, Scooch, because I feel like through context clues throughout the first act, it's like, when you're going to Moonrise, it's going to be a fight immediately, and you're going to have to take down.
Right, it's like it's the last Rob.
Yeah,
I
would not have thought to just go there and be like, well, let's see what's happening here. You know what I mean?
And it's far into the Shadowlands,
is,
so it's like
yeah.
they want you to literally like walk past cool stuff and be like, "Oh, I'll deal with that later." Like,
exactly.
That's not how,
It's a little. I agree, Gooch. 100%.
Yeah.
Going back to the D&D thing, what I wanted to say, because we started our campaign with you a few months prior, and we hadn't played in I guess like a year and a half, 2 years at that point, and I was like, oh my god, I'm so rusty. But it's sort of going off what Trio and Penza were saying, like playing Baldur's Gate really helped me like flesh out and understand D&D more, like from outside my own character,
Like mechanically.
seeing other
Yeah.
spells in action, seeing how they work, and it's like, oh, like now I know exactly how guidance works, or exactly how moonbeam works, or disintegration. Like, even though that's not like I'm a monk right now in our campaign, but that's not something I'm gonna access. But I know, like, if you use it, I kind of have an idea of like, okay, like I know what's gonna happen. I know I'm probably gonna get fucked up from this thing. Penza, before I moved away from that, was there anything else you wanted to say? I know you mentioned or you commented in, but
About
the D&D to Baldur's Gate experience.
Yeah, I mean, it just makes playing it in person so much better. Like figuring out, like, okay, the bonus action, what you can do with the bonus action and action and everything. Like, it just made actually playing it in person so much. I won't say like a breeze, but I don't know the right word is.
It makes it click more.
Yeah, like you're just like, okay, yeah, because
turns go faster too because you're realizing things that especially because you're playing in Baldur's Gate 4 classes, which is super cool.
Yeah,
and teaching you things.
And I do appreciate that you can change class anytime you want.
Yeah,
that is. I think because I've been playing a rogue this whole time for my playthrough, and I was thinking about changing to a monk or something just to kind of try and switch it up. But that's one of my favorite parts for sure.
Oh yeah.
Have any of you guys played anything Baldur's Gate before Baldur's Gate 3?
No.
No, sir.
Okay, so I'm the only one who's played. I played Dark Alliance Baldur's Gate when I was a kid, which is a Diablo-like, isometric, kind of like Hades, that kind of game. And so like I knew, like when I was like, oh, like Baldur's Gate, like Dark Alliance, like they're the same thing, like and then I knew like Neverwinter was in that universe as well, and I'm like, is this all connected? Like what is, like I knew this had something to do with D&D like for the longest time, but I never really knew it was D&D.
Yeah, like that's like their base world. Like even the D&D movie that came out last year took place right around the same area.
Right, that makes sense.
Stuff.
Yeah. So and that was kind of where it even like cemented when we saw the movie. I'm like, oh, so this is like really all connected. I'm like, shit. But yeah, I mean, like besides that game, like
that wasn't Larian either, right?
No,
this is Larian's first.
I think it was like Sierra. I think
when did
they have a Sierra Mountain logo.
And like these aren't like connected in any other way besides this is Baldur's Gate 3 and it's in the same place.
Divinity.
They're all in canon. I think.
Right.
Did Larian do original Divinity?
Yes.
Okay, so they did 1, 2. Is that when they took over, or did they do Baldur's Gate?
No,
2?
BioWare did Baldur's Gate 1 and 2.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Which
I thought.
shouldn't surprise you if you.
I've seen a lot of
It makes
videos.
sense that BioWare, out of all companies, would do Baldur's Gate back in the day. But yeah, interesting. So I guess I guess it's pretty obvious, but wanted to mention what systems we're on and what difficulties we're on. Trio
on the PC laptop.
That's crazy. I think this is Trio's first PC game review.
I think you're correct. Actually, that is correct.
Yeah.
I am liking it a lot. You can definitely tell that this is made for the computer.
Yeah,
in my opinion,
without it.
And it's funny because I plugged in my controller just to try it out, and I was like,
my experience is probably a lot different.
"What the fuck am I doing here?" But the interface, all of that stuff, definitely made for PC. The point and click adventure of it all, of course. With the controller, I can't remember. Do you like move around like with the stick regularly?
Yeah.
Or is it a similar?
you alternate, right?
Yeah, so
It's a
I
bit
alternate.
both.
So
Right.
not to skip over the line in terms
you're
of
fine.
what I plan on, but I originally bought it for PS5,
Yeah.
and then I love the game so much that I was willing to purchase it again because I was like, this game needs the mouse. It does because.
yeah.
The way that I'll play is I'll walk around with the controller, interact with things with the controller. But the second I want to move my inventory around or switch items or switch anything or second combat starts, you need the mouse. It's just not worth it.
That makes sense.
This game is definitely deserving of the Game of the Year title, but I think it has some big issues. Just like in just terms of, like if I'm getting like only things that like I would criticize on like an in-depth level of like the inventory system is Like I would assume even on PC can get really.
No,
fucking,
actually, it's phenomenal.
I think
It's
it's amazing.
phenomenal.
Okay, it took me a while to figure out like how I was gonna do my inventory and like it's like, always being a mess. And then I had a bag for like, okay, here's all my potions.
That's what I did.
My
Yeah,
grenades, and I'm just like, but like
So
Karlach held
it was
the
just very
javelins, like-
overwhelming all
Yeah.
the time with my inventory. But what
I started on the normal difficulty or whatever, or like balanced or whatever, and
then
then
you
I
went down.
switched down to like story focused or something it's called.
And what were you about to ask me?
What do the bags do?
They're just bags.
You
They
can just put
hold
things
you
in.
put like, okay.
They're
So my
it's a bag
character-
within your bag.
My
Oh,
character
so I
has-
can put
Yes.
things in that bag.
You can put
Does-
bags in
does-
that bag.
Okay. And then does that affect weight?
No, it's
No,
actually
it just condenses them into a bag.
So
Yes.
there's a
Wait,
sub menu of things.
I see.
So I played the
Okay, 'cause
game
I have a
with-
ton of them just sitting there, and I'm like, what do I do with these?
each of my characters had a full row of bags, essentially.
Okay.
And then I spread things out based on their class. So, like, okay, Karlach had all the throwing, all the
Right.
javelins, all of this. I knew that the rogue had all the money, all the gems, all of that. I knew that Gale had all the
like it.
scrolls,
Okay.
all this. So, in combat, quickly, you can just. And the cool thing is, again, PC making this better, you just go in your inventory, double click on Gale's scroll, and then all of a sudden, my character used it. It didn't matter.
Yeah,
Like,
Exactly.
everything.
Yeah, it's so much more.
I had
intuitive.
everything on my guy, so if anyone wanted to use a scroll or any bombs, I just had to go down to my inventory and either put it in their bag or they could use it like a scroll, and it was fine. But it just took like holy shit, okay,
Yeah.
like I gotta like sometimes I would save and I would go like I would name my save like inventory, so I knew the next time I played I needed to like fuck around with my inventory and like how many hours I probably spent in my camp like reorganizing the radial
A lot.
menus for the skills, which is a much different experience from you guys on PC. I'm sure,
Yeah.
and could get a little fucky at times, but
Yeah, you don't have a wheel. You just have a bottom piece
I know,
right there. Yeah, yeah.
I know.
So can you can use a mouse and keyboard on PlayStation, right? Or can you not?
You can.
I don't
That's what I
know if
thought.
it changes the whole thing around though.
Interesting, because I thought it just supports.
Does
like,
it?
I,
I
know
think
on
it does because the PC.
Yeah.
Sorry, if you're playing with
no,
the controller,
no,
it's legitimately the PS5 and Xbox,
Yeah.
like or whatever.
same version.
It's the same
Same-
thing.
So
Yeah.
you plug it in and just switches it over.
Right.
Yeah, as soon as you click X on your controller, bam,
It's-
now
yeah,
you're in the
it
wheels.
swaps it off.
As soon as you click with your mouse, now you're in the
That's
mouse.
I was playing Grand Theft Auto. It's the same way on there.
I should
Yeah.
try that.
Dude, it's cool. I'm sure
worth
you
it.
could, and I'm sure you could plug
Yeah,
it in that with that.
It would,
I'm
be a
sure-
little bit pain in the ass to unplug it every time,
Yeah,
but
definitely.
Yeah.
Penza, what about you? You were on PC, obviously.
I was on PC and yeah, I just played on balanced.
Okay. And you were on both, and you played on balance.
I did move up to tactician a little bit throughout, but I finished on balance. So.
Okay, so I played on Tactician on PS5. but- yeah. Watch out, everybody! I got the trophy. But yeah, I think Tactician is actually really balanced for what it is. I mean, like in the beginning, again, like that noob curve is kind of tough. Like the first few every encounter in the beginning was like, oh shit, like I'm getting fucked up. But like that's the D&D experience. Like you just kind of suck.
Well, and
like,
you have to like kind of get over the hump of like with there's an exception of a few items, but like you're always going to be kind of rotating out items. So be like, oh, I don't want to. This is a blue item that I got, blah blah blah. But then there's going to be a higher level green that you're getting like 10 hours later to switch it out, and then like the difference that makes can be massive. Like I found I think it might have been when you were playing Gucci, you were like, yeah, like should I get this weapon? I don't know, blah blah. I was like,
oh
dude,
yeah, in the
I was
very
like-
beginning, I
was like-
hoarded everything.
Yeah, I was like, dude, you are gonna give like in 20 hours from now, you're not even gonna think about that weapon.
But sometimes, especially actually for my character, I only had 3 armor sets the entire game, and that leads me to one of my huge issues of like for bards, like immersive armor is non-existent in this game. There's like 2 sets. I had
Like
literally-
look wise for bards, yeah.
like
yeah.
for like a bard outfit. Like I didn't want to wear armor. I wanted to look like a
leather,
bard.
yeah,
I literally wore like there's a set of armor you get at the end of Act 2, or maybe like midway. I forget where. I think it's in the Goblin camp. And I had that on literally until I got Gortash's outfit at the end of the game.
Wow.
And I was like a bit annoyed by that. I was just like, there's like nothing else for me. Like I can go into armor, but I'm like, I'm not gonna look like a bard, and I could have sacrificed that, but I liked being like,
No,
kind of
I totally
immersive with
understand
it.
that, yeah.
And I was just like, yeah, like such a missed opportunity, and capes too,
And
fucking
what was-
non-existent.
What was your race again?
I was a half wood elf.
Yeah, okay. And you get capes only in Act 3. It's crazy.
Yeah, I'm like, I was like, there's
is
some
weird.
capes you can buy, but I'm just like, why are there so little of them? Like, I just don't understand that. Like, why not just, like, even if they don't have stats, like, the cape look is just cool. I bought capes that didn't do anything.
I had them on too.
Yeah, you know, I was just like, gotta get a cape for everybody.
Absolutely.
And yeah, I was just surprised. But like, there's not a lot of the special capes either. Like, there's, I think, like a very like less than 10. I was like really
I think there is about
surprised.
10 max.
Shame that-
Yeah.
So like it's a shame you're not playing on PC because there are some crazy like really
mods.
good mods that
Yeah.
Oh my
have
God.
like put in like entire bard sets and like a whole bunch.
I mean,
of
have you
just, like,
seen the clothes that
outfit sets.
Shadowheart, Karlach, and all of them are wearing in the
No,
videos?
not at all. Can you send them to me so I can avoid them?
So I know which ones to avoid.
Send me the link so I know to avoid that link. Anyways, what were we saying? I never mess with
Capes.
fucking mods on. I'm afraid to like do anything to my computer.
I've never really
really?
did
I just
mods
don't know
either.
what I'm
Anything.
doing.
Skyrim
it's
a
lot
little
e-
bit.
It's a
That's
lot
it.
easier
Yeah.
now.
That's the
I'm
only
sure
one.
it is compared to what it was, but like, yeah, I don't know. I'm just afraid I'm gonna download a fucking.
no, dude.
That's stupid. I guess you can download them right from Steam, right?
Yeah.
Is the thing
Yeah,
now
you
and
get
things
them.
like that.
Because I remember, like, when they released Skyrim, what PS4, I guess,
Yeah,
at that point, and they
PS3.
had the mods.
Yeah,
well,
on PS4.
this was
Oh,
like
yeah,
the fifth
PS4,
re-release.
yeah.
And like it was literally start mods.
Yeah.
That's when I mess with mods. That's
Yeah.
the only time
And
I've
it's
ever
so
messed
because
with
it's so streamlined and easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Yeah, but let's get into character customization. We'll start with you,
Yeah.
Mandell. What did you? I mean, I know you. I think you played like have a few different playthroughs. I don't know if you just want to talk
Yes.
about your main one, but what did you roll? What was your class?
Yeah, so
Let us know.
my main two, I'll say, because I did dabble with Dark Urge a little bit.
Yeah, we'll definitely talk about
yeah,
that.
I went though. My favorite race in D&D is the Drow. I mean, it's very
I'm totally with
unique
that,
of
yeah.
me, but you know, I love them. I love
It's the
their
best, yeah.
lore and like the fact that they went. You can be the half Drow in this, so I went half Drow. I went Bard Rogue, which is how I played D&D, and I loved it. I thought that was the amazing choice there, and I pretty much tested each of the classes though throughout the other characters.
right.
Yep, and then sorry, the race
it's
of
okay.
my Dark Urge was Dragonborn, which I thought was
okay,
pretty
cool.
cool. Mhm.
Penza.
I was a night elf. Started out as a rogue, and I ended my playthrough.
You were a night elf. You mean drow? You just said night elf, didn't you?
Yeah.
The
Night
Dark
elf,
Elf?
dark elf.
Oh,
Drow.
I'm sorry,
Drow,
dark
yeah.
elf. Yeah.
Yeah, you idiot.
No. I wasn't drow. No, that must have been a wood elf.
Yeah, because you could be Wood Elf, High Elf, or
Oh,
Drow.
you
Drow's
mean
high elf.
by
High
tan elf you mean dark elf you mean tan elf.
He's,
no,
he's
I
speaking
think that's
WoW.
high
He's
elf,
speaking WoW terminology over here.
Start off
So
as a
funny.
rogue, and I ended my playthrough as a bard, paladin, fighter, multi-class.
2 levels in fighter, everyone.
Yeah,
Where do you multi-class at?
just to the guy.
Whether
It's just
No,
with
as soon as you
can
level
you do
up-
it when you level?
Yeah,
when
so-
you,
Oh,
okay,
yeah,
I
to
just
the
haven't
bottom.
looked around for it.
It
Oh, yeah,
automatically, I think, puts you your next level in your class, but you
Right,
can like
yeah,
go
you
back and be like, no.
I made
class.
a like curt decision at the beginning. I was like, I'm not multi-classing at all in this first playthrough. Like, I just kind of
you just
want
wanna get the
figure
vanilla
it
for
out. I'm
everything.
gonna
No,
figure
but
everything
yeah,
out.
They made it to multi-class.
Yeah, I'm
They
excited
did.
to multi-class. There's a trophy to multi-class everybody into
can.
not everybody into everything, but everyone has to be like, you have to have one bard, one monk, you know, like
multi-class with something.
Is there
right?
12 classes in the game?
I think so.
Because there's 13, I think, originals in D&D, but they did make it to multi-class though, because in regular
Yeah.
D&D, like, it's hard to multi-class. You
Yeah,
have to have
that's
this
why
stat to
that's
do
why I didn't
this. You
do
have
it.
to be this level in this. You have to have this. So like, it's like not really possible.
Right.
They literally in this game were like, oh, you want to go all 12 classes, 1 level each? Go for it.
That is wild. I love it.
Yeah, Trail, what'd you do?
I did a elf. I want to say, is there high elves?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Wow,
believe
we
I
were
was a
all
high
elves.
elf.
Wow, we are
all 4 were
elves.
elves.
Yeah, high elf rogue. My first one I did so I started one playthrough, and you guys have heard it 1,000 times. I kind of got in and out of it. I was a wizard tiefling, which was fun. But then I just decided after I took a break for a month to just start fresh. I did the high elf rogue, which was really good. I haven't used what's his name a lot because of it, Asterion
Yeah.
and stuff like that. I definitely feel
Amazing.
like
I love him.
Yeah, he's good.
whatever class you are, it's
Bless
like,
you.
obviously
Thank
you
you.
want to spread out your classes, right? You don't want to
Absolutely.
have like 3 fucking rogues on a team together or whatever. So I do think I might switch it up to be able to like kind of rope him in, but I would love to multi-class with a rogue bard like you did, just to
Yeah.
try it out. I might do that on my next level up, but yeah, still making my way through rogue, high elf.
I think bar just makes sense
It
for
does.
your main because, and I think all of us did the same thing. Like, how often did you switch characters to do dialogue?
Exactly.
Never once. Like, if
Never.
it was on the other
Never.
character, I was like, whoa.
Yeah, it happened by
Yeah,
accident,
I
maybe.
need to
I'm
see
like,
this.
let's stop right
Yeah, like it
now.
finished like
Yeah.
a fight, and I was Karlach, and it starts talking to Karlach. I'm like, what the fuck?
I almost was like, because I know you can like technically. So I was kind of like looking at the characters and like writing them all down, and technically, all the characters are called origin characters, which is like essentially they're characters with backgrounds that tie into the main story.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
And you can play as them.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
so like
full
so
playthrough.
That's what I
Halcyon-
did in my first playthrough. I played as Astarion, and I was like, wait, I thought I could create somebody. What the hell's going on?
Yeah,
And then,
so
like-
so Halcyon, Minthara, Jaheira, and Minsk are like non-origin characters, so you can't play them at the
Yes,
start.
correct.
But I thought that was interesting because like why would you want to like you want to make a character like
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like I don't know who starts to be like I'm just gonna play
Well,
as like
may-
Shadow.
I don't know.
Heart,
Maybe
like,
it is someone who comes in that's like a little bit of a newbie. They're just like, oh, they have these characters set up for me already. I don't have to mess with the character creator or the
Or
class
they're-
creator.
or they're dumb
I'm just
like
gonna
me
jump
and
right in.
can't
For the
find that
second
creative
play,
player.
like now looking back on it, yeah, starting off Noah, I would have even
Yeah.
considered that. But like, I honestly would play as Astarion
Well,
now
and
just
you
to
know his
get
character
his
too.
story. Yeah,
You
because
can
I
do-
love
you
the
can
character.
do like how his character plays and acts, so you can do like a whole playthrough as him.
Yes.
And make decisions that he would make. You know,
Right.
Yeah, which
and, like
You
stuff
can
like
role
that.
play as a Astarion.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that is pretty
yeah.
cool.
But I was gonna say something. Oh, you were talking about Star. And maybe we could like go into all the characters because I had a
As
pretty,
we should,
I had a
yeah.
pretty unique experience in that like I never found Gale. I just like
Yes,
never
this
came
needs to
across
be
the
That's so
portal.
far.
that's crazy.
It's the first one that I
how'd
found.
you
which-
miss him?
He's like in a
Never-
port. Did you?
yep.
Yeah, that is
Never
wild.
Because
found
like,
it.
you got the crash literally in the center of the map, right? And then it's literally Astarion, Gale, Lysel, and
They make him tough to
Karlach,
miss. They
I
make him
guess.
pretty
Yeah,
tough
yeah.
to miss for
Yeah,
sure.
like they're just the four
they-
entrances.
They put them like a little bit out of the way.
Yeah,
but
like-
not that much. Karlach is a bit out of the way.
Yeah, I think Karlach's probably the
Yes,
easier
but you
one.
have to find Will, and Will like pushes you to find Karlach. So
Well,
like,
see, what's funny? Will on my first playthrough just showed up to my camp. I didn't talk to him.
You find
oh,
Karlach
wow.
I
first?
totally, I found
Really?
Karlach
So
first.
maybe he's
I
looking
didn't
for
talk.
Karlach.
So my second
Oh,
playthrough.
so he like tracked her down?
yeah,
Yeah,
My
that makes
second
sense.
playthrough, I actually talked to him in the Tiefling camp.
yeah,
Yeah,
The first
yeah.
one,
Because
I didn't. I just walked
when
right
you
by
go to
him.
the front gate, he like joins the fight. Like
And
that-
he shows up to fucking kill Karlach, and
Yeah,
I'm like,
that's how
bitch,
I
please, and I
encountered
got
him.
him to hang out.
So,
and yeah, he was cool.
I rolled a half wood elf bard. I think I mentioned that earlier,
right.
but yeah, I named my. You know, it's funny. I was watching the Clone Wars, so I think I just watched an episode on the planet Corellia, so I named him Corellion.
Nice. My I was Mikalis.
What was my?
I forget what mine is. Holy shit!
I always start my names off like in that. I think because
It's been months ago. It was something.
I can't remember my character's
what was
name
the
off the top of
Dark
my head
Urge?
right
I don't
now.
remember, but they all start with an M. That was just like the setting
It's
I left
funny.
for myself
Fair
too.
enough.
Yeah, Mikalis was good. I felt
no,
fitting
with
for
the M. Your M.
I almost went with Sir
character.
Julius
Yeah.
Peppers, but I went away from it.
Sergeant Peppers.
Sir Julius Peppers.
That's nice. I like that.
Julius Peppers is the name of a
Pepper-
football player.
Peppers
yeah,
is like
which
a
is
good-
hilarious.
That would be a good like gnome with like a
Right.
little red
Yeah,
goatee
little-
beard.
yeah. I think it
No,
would
but
be
yeah, my companions were all out of whack during my playthrough.
Should we go with what characters did you finish the game with? Like, what was your final four?
Oh, I mean, if we're really jumping that far ahead,
Or I guess maybe not ending, but just who were the four that you spent the most time
I
with?
used everybody. I switched them all
That's
out.
a
typical.
Gucci.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's
That is the
expected.
biggest
Guccism if I've ever heard
Guccism
one.
ever.
I-
yeah. I was
in-
using everybody.
In the playthrough for my main playthrough, it was me, Shadowheart, Karlach, and Gale, and then in the Dark Urge, it's me, Astarion, Lysel, and Will.
That's a crazy.
So
I,
mine
I,
was-
I
can't be in it.
could
Will
not
can't be in it.
comprehend the fact of not using everybody.
Yeah, no,
That's
mine's
it?
been,
Like I couldn't neglect. I have to. I can't neglect.
Yeah,
it.
no,
well, I
you
killed
gotta get all the
Astarion
background.
immediately in the
Yeah,
regular
every time,
game.
I'm like, why?
Yeah, I killed him too.
I'm like, why
Well,
would you do
I
that?
chose a strain. So I finished with Shadowheart, of course. Will,
Of course.
and I think Lysel was my.
Yeah, I
third,
did.
I think. Yeah, she was.
I did Gale, Lae'zel, and Karlach for literally story reasons. I
But
brought those
Act
three
one-
because I kind of knew they were going to be like okay, it made sense that Lae'zel is there and Gale is there with his orb, and then Karlach is there for reasons we'll get into. But yeah.
I was Gale for the first act. I was Gale, Karlach, Shadowheart, and then once I got Halsin, I swapped him out for Gale. And then actually once I got Jaheira, I swapped
I'm
her
kind
out
of
for.
I never
Awesome.
got any of the 4. Not one of them joined my party.
Really? I am kind of annoyed you do have 2 druids. It feels kind of
Yes.
goofy.
It is weird.
One
yeah.
of them should have been
like okay, I understand Jahira, especially as like a Baldur's Gate 1 character. Like
Oh, she's the Baldur's Gate 1 character? I didn't realize
Yeah.
that.
one of the Minsk and Jahira.
Oh, shoot.
You may know about Minsk. You may have heard
Is
his
he a
name.
ranger?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I was gonna say
Yeah.
one of them should have been a ranger.
You'll
but I'm pretty sure
meet
that
Minsk,
he's-
but he is also a Baldur's Gate 1 companion.
Well, he might not. I mean, he's kind of tricky to get, Minsk.
I didn't even
You
know
have to
he
knock
was in
him
the game
out. You
until you
can't
said
like.
it. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
tough because he's hostile when you
Yeah,
first meet him.
yeah. You'll see.
Alright.
I want to say something.
Where do you meet him at?
You meet him like in the sewers.
Yeah,
He's
well,
in the
I don't
hideout.
want to spoil who he is, but
I mean,
what did you?
oh,
What,
yeah.
You must have just not done the quest.
I never even like interacted with this character.
Yeah.
And then Jahiro didn't join because she died. And
that
then
actually might be why. Maybe.
maybe that is. Well, then Halsden also didn't join because after Moonrise Towers, they're all sitting there like, and you just go up and talk to them. They're all crossroad, and he was basically like, "Oh, good job," but
Grr.
like, "Wow, we kind of suck. Like, we totally could have saved the shadow area, and you didn't." And I
kinda
was like,
suck.
"What do you mean we could have?" Like, what?
So that's what
I would've
happened.
did it.
So that's what happened to me, but that's what I was talking about when I went back and fixed the quest.
Okay.
And it was funny because I had to like Google it, and some guy figured it out on Reddit how you have to go fix it. And like, because the quest line's still there, it's like save the Shadowland, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm like,
yeah.
what the fuck? And then you had to go back and like talk to the dude and.
See, I
Yeah,
didn't do that. I was just
so-
like,
But I'm
"All right,
surprised.
whatever."
Like again, I'm wondering what I missed. Like first, like act around that I was low level enough to have to do that quest.
Did you
to
did
get
you do
leveled up.
literally everything?
Mostly, yeah.
You do what's her name?
The hag.
The hag.
Yeah, killed her.
Okay.
I did the I like cleared the whole map.
I was always over leveled.
Yeah, I don't know
Always.
why.
I was never under leveled. I mean, I was on tactician, and all of my XP increase is skewed a bit.
Yeah, no.
Is it a little? You're a little
mean,
higher.
I would
know.
think
I don't know.
not.
Yeah, I would
I
also-
think it would be
yeah.
harder to level.
Yeah.
So like that's what I'm saying. Like I never had an issue of like, oh, I was too low leveled for something.
So when you left the Shadowlands, Mike, it was like, you fucked up, you idiot. Look at this shitty
Yeah, like,
place.
it's here
Because I
forever.
did that,
Yeah.
and I was like, wait, this can't be right. So I loaded my thing back, and I did the invest. I'm like, how do I finish this quest? Because it would say quest failed, right? If you can't
Yes.
finish it. Or if
Nothing worse than seeing quest fail. And I'm like, what the fuck do you mean quest fail?
and then yeah, so you have to protect like a portal for him while he's
Yeah.
going through to find the
Okay.
guy.
Yeah.
That fight wasn't too hard actually.
Oh,
but
that's
And I'm guessing it's sick though.
again,
like-
I did turn down my level, so that's probably why.
so once you do that, can you explore the Shadow Realms map without the shadows?
So you
No.
have to know once
No.
you leave, it does like a whole thing. It's
Yeah.
like the shadow is gone.
Yeah,
from
once
the-
you leave, it's
okay.
like
Yeah.
that's all
fair
good.
enough. Fair enough.
And yeah,
fair
and
enough.
that is
how-
the other thing. You
how-
can't retread old areas
Not
until
when you
Yes.
go into Act 3, you can't.
well, but in Act 2, you couldn't either. You can't venture back to Act 1 area.
No, you can.
Yes, you
How?
can.
There's a point. There's a point.
Oh, really? Because
So there's a few different ways into Act 1. One of them being you have to go past the crash. Did you go to the crash?
no, I didn't do that.
Okay.
So that was one thing I did not do because I didn't go the high road.
That's
Yeah.
a big one.
So
Yeah, I assume-
that
I
maybe
assume
that
you
was the
went
big
through the
thing.
That's
Underdark.
I did. I
Wow,
went
that
through the
one's sick.
Underdark, and that's probably what kept me behind.
I did the crash with the Dark Urge.
Yeah,
with
I
Lizelle.
talked Lizelle out of her shit when the like king shows up to our camp.
Oh, nice.
Did you remember?
So
Yeah.
one,
Kithrak
so,
Voss.
I don't know why
Yeah,
it's remembering
yeah.
me, but so I saw a cool like short of this the other day where it's like talking about the lower level kind of things. So at that moment when you see them on the bridge, if your characters are under level 5, they have a completely different dialogue than if you're over level 5. So if you're under level
Interesting.
5, you're like, yo, don't go mess with them. Like Astarion's like, yo, they're gonna cut us up. Like
Yeah, they'll
all of them
destroy
are like,
us.
don't do it. Like they're gonna kill us. And then literally, if you're level 6, Karlach's like, let's go right now. Gale's like, do we really need to
guess
waste our
so.
time with these peasants? Like,
Yeah,
but they all have a different dialogue. It's really cool. Like, it almost one of those little things, like where you were saying you use the spectator or something in. Do you want to explain that? Like in the inn or whatever.
Oh wait.
That's one of the coolest things I've ever heard. Where like
Oh, I was telling you.
that was you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
I was like,
explain
wait,
that. Explain that.
Yeah,
'cause
so
that
it was
so cool.
This wasn't for my
like, what cool
playthrough. I
thing
saw
did
this
I
on
do?
Reddit. It was like you know like the fight at Last Light Inn.
Yeah.
And, like they get ambushed and
Yeah,
everything.
that's fucking
Well, somebody
annoying.
had
That's what you hear about.
there's an item in the game where you can like unleash like a specter, and it's pretty much like
a specter from what?
It's like a spell or
You have to
something.
capture it, right? It's
No,
that
I don't
item
know.
that you capture.
Yeah,
because
yeah,
there's
it's
an
an
item
item.
that you get that you can
you
capture.
get it from
anything.
the Underdark.
Yes.
I had an iron flask thing.
That's it.
Yes, that's it.
Oh,
But
okay.
so
I
you
never
could have
used it. I
captured
know
the
it was in
specter.
there.
that's
I never
it.
used it either.
So
Okay.
Interesting.
So yeah, so that's what they did. They captured it and they released it during that fight, and like the fight was over. The inspector died, and then like they did like they rested. They left Last Light In. They came back. When they came back through the entrance of Last Light In,
yeah.
like
I remember
the
that.
game,
You were telling me.
they fucking put up the dead specter's body like at the gates of the fucking town.
That's crazy.
Insane.
That's
like
crazy.
the thought that like
You
Larian
could do
went
that
behind.
and you'd be in
Yeah.
that position. That reminds me of in our first D&D
Like it was probably like
campaign with the
0.01% of
monster
players would have came across that.
in the back.
Yeah, no.
Like who would have had the idea to
little-
like have a specter? there?
That's the mark, I think, truly of like a great video game where it's just you hit those like, especially when you're going for something like an RPG like
details.
this,
Yeah.
the little details of just like you go back to somewhere you've been and you're like,
I've
I've been here,
never
like
Yeah.
you can. I've left my mark almost. Yeah.
I've never like experienced a game where I felt like I could honestly do like whatever I wanted more than in this game.
Yeah.
It's
I
like
agree.
it's insane. Like in Act 2 there were I think 2 or 3 fights in a row that I completed without
Oh, me too.
fighting at all. It was like that gold character.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
gold
yeah.
guy. And then it was the fat guy in the bar.
In the
Yeah,
bar
you
that
just-
you
you
drink
just-
with.
yeah.
You
Yep,
just keep
and
drinking.
then it was the doctor.
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
they
the
killed-
doctor. I did the
That
exact
was
same thing.
one of
It
the
was 3 straight, and I was
coolest
like, all right.
Wait,
scenes ever.
the doctor, I persuaded him to kill himself.
That's
Yeah,
right.
exactly.
Yeah. But it was
But I
just
had
like
3 straight
Oh,
fights.
yeah, okay, there, yeah. No, exactly. I'm like, gold guy. Yeah, in
Yeah.
Moonrise, yeah, or the Cursed Shadowlands. Mike, you're the only one who did Dark Urge, right? No one else did?
I dabbled actually with it a little bit.
Because
I got to like where you kill
So,
the
and you
girl.
were saying this to me, and I feel like it is true that it is the original main character idea for the game.
Yeah, so playing through it, it seems to me that like if Larian was to be like, all right, there's no origin characters, there's none of this, you get this character, everyone's playing the same thing. I think it's Dark Urge, and I think like the true way that they had in their minds to play this game is to play Dark Urge and then resist it, or at least attempt to resist it, because you can play Dark Urge in a way of. Like
lean
the
into
roll
it.
comes up, he's like, all right, you're about to kill this person. Like at one point, and this is spoiler, but you're literally forced to kill the person that you romance, and like you have to get out of that by rolling for it and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
I think sorry, losing my train of thought right there, but basically I really believe that they meant the game to be played like that, where like you kind of try to like, because you wake up from this mind flare ship and this attack and you just have no memories and you're just gonna go with the flow of things.
Right.
and,
Right.
and-
It does like
yeah.
make sense in the narrative perspective that like, you know, you're on the Nautiloid, everyone starts on the Nautiloid and they have their stories, but like you're just a blank slate.
Yeah.
And it's easy to just insert whatever the fuck into this. Which
Yeah, and
was,
also like
That's a good point.
there's like that clip at the end of the game with what's his name? Who's the skeleton guy that's at our
Withers.
Withers.
Oh,
Withers.
Withers. There's
yeah.
that clip
Yeah,
at the end of the
yeah,
game
yeah.
with Withers. He's talking about Ball and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Like it feels like it was very like
That's
all,
he's
like, Dark
interesting.
Urge
Not that he
line.
like
well, Ball, Merkel, and who was the third one?
Ball Merkel and
It's
not Char.
no, Char's the
Who
goddess
are the
of darkness.
Cursed Dead 3?
That's
trio?
the Dead Three. Yeah.
Ball Merkel.
Wow. I can't
Orin
remember.
is Ball. Gortash is
Merkel. No, who's Gortat?
Bane,
Bane.
and Merkel.
Yeah, so and yes,
I
the
was
Dark
born in the
Urge
darkness.
having such a hard tie into Ball and that, I think that also adds to that.
Honestly, that the way you lay that out, it makes total sense. Like you're saying, it's like
Yeah, you'll
that
see.
is what the character created like backstory is.
Yes.
That they gave you.
Yeah, but it like, you know, knowing what it is from just you talking about it and other people, it's like, you know, you just have to kill people and it's like that would suck. You
Yeah.
know?
Well,
Like,
and like you said, the idea is you can resist it too, right?
Yeah,
To a
so
degree, anyways.
sometimes. So
Yeah.
the first time it
gotta
happens,
get the
and this is pretty early in the game, but honestly one of the coolest things I've ever experienced in my entire life. You're in the Owlbear Cave, I guess I was, and Alfira, the bard, came up to the party, and she's like, "Oh my god, I want to join the party. You guys are great. You just did all this stuff." She names all the quests that you just did, so you're very into it, especially if you didn't know what happens. So I was like, "Hell yeah, I just got bard. Let's go.
Let's do it."
This is sweet." You go to rest. And you wake up to her just dismembered all over the floor.
Like disemboweled.
And yeah, like so graphic, and it's crazy. And that's the first time where you do have to deal with. So that's where you can't resist killing her, but how your party reacts to it. They're like, "Why are you covered in blood
You can
standing
like
over
hide
this
the
girl?"
body. You could do
You're
so,
like,
yeah. there's, like-
Astarion did it.
Yeah.
But like it gives you
Me?
so many ways to see how you react to these cards that are just thrown in your face.
That is really
such a cool thing.
Yeah, yeah. I would. I have a question for the end of like what we want to see, for the future of Baldur's Gate 3 specifically, and maybe Larian. So keep that in the back of your heads. But something I would love to see is them add origins like the Dark Urge to play.
Like more than just that, yeah.
Right, but like you know, pre-designed things.
Sure,
I mean,
sure.
that sounds like a lot of fucking work.
Of course.
I mean, and the Dark Urge, like the game seems like we were talking about, like molded around it. So I don't know how difficult that is, but I think that would be really cool.
What do you think they're gonna add? Like more content? Like I don't think they should.
So
realistically,
to jump to that, I want to see expansions.
I wouldn't mind
Standalone,
expansions.
how
old
would they-
school expansions where maybe the game, maybe you play as your guy from the, you know, the story of Baldur's Gate 3, maybe, you know, and maybe some of the characters from that journey are involved, but maybe it's something totally different. I feel it is a waste to not do that. To just be like, we're going to do Baldur's Gate 4 next, which you can imagine is probably going to happen. But like,
yes.
I think
I
don't want to see that game for a while. There's so much richness and quality in Baldur's Gate 3 that I feel like they can just add to it by making it.
I feel like they don't even need to add to it because there's already so
in the
much.
game,
And the
dude.
problem with adding something here,
Like even like 2 years from now. I'm not talking like next year.
Well,
They
I'm
should-
just
I
saying,
know.
just
Start
what
working on Baldur's Gate 4.
what sort of progression would they add though? Because realistically, I can't fathom
And they
a
have done
potential
expansions
for
for other Baldur's Gate
level
games.
13. Like you couldn't possibly be level 13.
So one thing I didn't like was how it capped you at 12 because I felt like your progression just kind of ends.
You have to,
and I was,
though.
because
like
you just
how
get
do you
OP, right?
program plane shift
Yeah.
into the game? Like or just like the amount of spells that come at I guess 7th level. Like they're just so groundbreaking, like code breaking.
World breaking, yeah.
Yeah,
Right,
like you would just like I just don't think they could program it like
Right.
that. Like they'd have like again because how would you plane? You could just plane shift to the elemental plane of fire at any time you want. Like
Yeah, you'd have to like not put in certain spells,
Yeah.
basically, right? Like you'd have to choose.
and I think that was one of the beauties of they really didn't skip anything, and they didn't want to.
Yeah, I think
That
my
is
only
nice,
issue
yeah.
was like I was just like mid Act 3 and I'm like max level and I'm not like
Yeah, I agree with
disappointed
that. I
about
agree
it,
with
but
that.
I'm just like, yeah, I guess it sucks my characters can't progress more, but I guess now that I have my builds finally
Did
solidified.
you
and
do
nothing's
the
gonna
you
change.
do like the illithid stuff?
Yeah, I didn't become an illithid, but
didn't either.
I embraced Ceramorphosis.
So you got so you're like flying.
Oh, I didn't touch it
Oh,
at
I
all.
got my
Yeah, I
brain.
didn't touch
My
that.
brain
I
was
forced
riddled.
Gal to though.
Yeah,
I did it, and then I gave it to the rest of them, so everyone in my party could fly.
Oh my
And I was
god.
like,
So-
all right,
OP
what we got?
is shit,
Yeah.
dude.
me and
Holy
Gail
crap.
were the only two people who did the illithid stuff, and I liked that. It gives you a lot. It gives you a cool like.
The only
skill
downside
set.
is it fucks with your face.
Yeah, and my elf was hot, man, and he
Yeah.
looked like shit in Act 3. Did you embrace that?
I didn't do any of it. I
Okay.
used the like.
He
roll
wouldn't
a
have
few
got
times.
to the final
He
one.
might
No,
not
so
have
I did. I
gotten to
talked
No,
to
no,
the
no.
Emperor. Well, not the final one.
I just mean like the powers.
Not at all.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
I didn't consume any
Because
parasites
there's
or
two
anything
steps.
like that.
There's
or
just like the
tadpoles.
base one of doing you can only do so much, and then in Act 3 the Emperor's like, no, you can do even more. And
Yeah.
Yeah, he keeps trying to be like, hey, you know, being
Take
a lift, it's
it.
pretty cool.
Take it.
You want to be one?
It's cute.
Which I will say, like that,
The
in a
tadpole.
way, a little. Just to give some sort of criticism against it, and I don't know how they would have did it better, but I felt that was the only part of the game that I felt a little bit too railroady. In a sense, I felt like there should have
Railroady
been
how?
in the sense of like that moment happens, and I mean
In
we're skipping
Act
ahead
3?
of a little bit, yeah.
Okay.
So at this
No,
point,
that's
it's
fine.
either you're an illithid or
Yeah.
what's his name's an illithid, the king of all the
Oh, you're
gift guy.
talking about the ending.
Kinda, yeah. So
yeah.
that was the only
Or someone
time
else
where
in
I
your
felt,
party.
yeah.
And I was
I-
like, I don't like.
Because I played the game against Illithid. I was like, no. You know what? We met that Illithid in the Myconid colony. Dead. Like it doesn't matter. I just
I don't
Man,
know.
I'm a pretty cool
I
guy.
didn't finish his quest. I don't
He
know
was
what
awesome.
happened.
I
was-
did, yeah. I
was
finished his
cool.
quest.
He was
Does
awesome.
he come back?
Yeah, he's in Baldur's Gate. He's in the city.
Did you
Yeah,
guys
yeah,
get the BDSM buff? With the guy, the
I
dude who
had-
whips you at the or he like fucks, but he like gives you the guy who's
I fucked the
the
twin.
elf.
Oh.
I
He's at
fucked
the
the
he's at
twins.
the,
I did
the
that.
goblin
with
hideout.
Shadow.
Oh, yeah, I
did
so
that.
we had
Yeah.
a foursome.
Good,
Yeah.
that's cool.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
was
that's
fun.
fine.
in the
I-
pitch black screen. It was the right thing to do.
No,
it was the right thing to do.
Speaking of the sex scenes, I was really underwhelmed by like they didn't go Witcher 3. I was really surprised.
But what? So what? They didn't
I
show
thought
tits?
it was perfect.
They don't
they
like
do.
it's not. Like,
So then what else do they do?
show-
In Witcher, they
they
kind of just show.
No, they show tits.
Minthara gives you a blowjob.
They show you like
Do you see the blowjob? No.
No,
Well,
you
but
see
you
her
see
head,
the
but you
blowjob
see
in The Witcher?
you're
That'd be
sitting there and her
cool.
head
No.
is just on you.
No,
Like,
you don't
No,
need
no,
to
but
see
I
it.
think like I mean I think Witcher's done romances like no other game has, and just in terms of like the romantic value of them. But like I don't know, I think Witcher 3 kind of ruined romances for games like that. That's
But like,
such a high bar.
like, what do you want them? What do they show in The Witcher? They
It's
show
not.
them
It's
like
not.
kissing and
it's
like.
kind of just like they're gonna have sex, but like just show it.
But
Like
what do you
not
mean?
like more than just like dark screen than narrating.
Well, but I
you know?
feel like honestly, Witcher does the exact same thing.
Well,
they start kissing,
yeah.
they lay down
I
on
think
the
like
bed,
so.
and then
Did
it goes
you
to black
have you
goes
seen
into the
all of the
moon.
sex
Yeah.
scenes? Or
no, I've only
so have
seen
you seen
Shadow
Lizelle's?
Hearts. No.
Lizelle's.
Yeah,
That's what you. She literally pulls you in. And she's like, "You sit the fuck down and do what I say,"
Yeah.
and you're like,
Okay.
Yeah, I romance Shadowheart, and so
Same.
"Yeah, so did I." But I also
Yeah,
clicked
so
back
did I,
and was
so
like,
did I.
What's
let
happening
me
here?
see what's
Yeah.
going on over
I
here."
banged Lizelle first and then
Yeah,
Shadowheart.
I accepted
And
like
didn't-
Lazelle's like
I was, like, broke up
I'm
with
like
her.
let's have sex. I'm like okay, and then I was like no.
She's like, get down.
I,
I'm like, okay.
I
want a serious
I
relationship.
killed every one of those tieflings to see that Minthara scene.
I missed Minthara.
Well, you can't get her unless
You have
go-
to kill all the tieflings. Well, to have, I guess, to
No,
have
you
the
don't.
sex scene,
You do not.
No, to have the sex scene, you probably do.
Oh yeah,
Because
when,
that
when do you have
happens.
to kill all the tieflings?
So-
This is in the Act 3 or is
No,
this
it's
Act
Act
in
1.
Grove,
Like
in the
when you
Grove.
go into the Grove, you can choose to
that-
go to Minthara and just rat them out, and then you lead Minthara to
Oh,
the.
she's the dark
things.
elf. I'm getting her
Yes.
confused with the girl, like Will's
And
like,
then
sister or whatever.
in the celebration, that's when you do it.
Yeah, so to keep her alive,
Urge makes
you
it better.
literally you have to know this. There's no
Yeah,
way
you have to look that up.
If you don't side with the goblins, like there's no way
You
you're
knock
gonna
her
know
out,
to knock
right?
Minthara
Yeah,
out.
you have to knock her out.
That's all you have to do, and she'll make it to Act 2 where she'll have a scene, and then she joins you for Act 3.
Interesting.
And it's so even so after you.
But it's just like things like that. It's like if she's such an important character, I think I knew I'm like this character you can recruit, but I'm just like, well, I guess I have to kill her, and I didn't really think about it too much.
I don't think she's
but
that
see,
important.
that's kind of what I love about. I will say
I
that's
like
like
it,
what
I
I like
love it,
about this
'cause I
game
feel like
because
I-
like
like I
You don't
kinda
want them
miss-
to be like, hey, you can actually keep them alive if you don't kill them. Blah,
Well,
blah,
but
blah.
I
Right, but
think
the game never gives you like a role to do it.
No, I know what you're
guess is
saying.
what
Like
I'm
there's
saying.
there's a convoluted
have
way
to
that
fight
you
it,
have to
for
do
sure.
it to get it that way.
And I do think like a big criticism of modern RPGs, which I take, is like you can do. They allow you to do everything too much. Like
Yes.
there's like if you want to, and I think Baldur's Gate. I like that you can just switch up your class whenever you want, and I think that's great. But there does become this thing of like where it's like, well, I want to do everything in this playthrough, and it's like that's not the point of an RPG. You're supposed to fuck up and miss something, and
Being
then
the
come back.
jack
to
of
it.
all
play it
trades,
again.
master of none is no way to play an RPG. I've learned that the hard way by doing that all the time.
Yeah.
You really like
I think it depends on the game because I think you can get away with that in like
But you
Skyrim,
played as a bard.
for sure or something.
right.
It's a jack of all trades.
That
Not
is
really.
technically well. That's technically their slogan. Like in
Fuck.
like under their
I-
like
I-
Hey,
skills.
moron!
and I picked Bard to be like, I really didn't know what I wanted to do. I always pick like fighter classes, like sword and shield. So like I didn't
Sure.
want to do that. I'm like I want to do something different. I'm like I'm gonna do Bard, and I guess I kind of was a jack of all trades, but like
It literally says that in their description.
It's your
in-game.
it's your like feature.
all
yeah.
right, don't blow up
Just
my.
be-
But in a different way though. So the jack of all trades aspect of D&D is it just you get half bonus to every single skill, no matter what. So as the main character, it's definitely
the
move.
literal skill jack of
Yeah.
all trades.
Yeah,
Right,
so like
yes, yes,
athletics,
yes.
you're not proficient in it, but you get half proficiency anyway because
Yeah.
you're a bard. So that's what that
Yeah,
means.
yeah, but I thought you meant like an ability. Like, I was doing like spells, but I was good in like melee and stuff too, where it's like, Gale, you're not gonna, if you're running
Gale
him,
was insane.
if you're running him
strong,
like a normal
dude.
sorcerer
Like,
with
just
a
wizard,
staff, like
but
you're not going in and smacking
sorcery was really so.
I
Sorcerer
like
is
the
what I
druids,
went.
too.
Dark Urge, sorcerer,
Yeah.
and the meta magic was crazy.
I really like the druids a lot. I liked Halcyon and I liked Jahira a lot. The beast
didn't
form and everything in the
really
moon.
try
Yeah, I
Druid
like
too
the
much, a
druids,
little bit.
and I built them pretty differently.
I was moonbeaming.
I didn't moonbeam a lot.
It's
actually.
great, man. It fucks people up, especially in the parts that I'm at right now.
Yeah.
But I like the druids a lot actually.
The night song, Aelin has a moonbeam on her. The ability.
Yeah.
I don't know if you fought
yeah.
with her. It fucks people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
fought her?
No, she fights with
Yeah, she
me.
fought
Yeah.
with me
Yeah,
too.
yeah,
Yeah,
but like
yeah,
she's
yeah.
moonbeaming.
I'm
Like,
sure there's probably a way you can fight her. I assume maybe if you free her, then be like, I'm gonna fucking
yeah, you
bitch.
definitely-
Yeah.
Yes, there is a part where you can fight her.
Because I fought. I think I did
With
the
the tower.
Ketheric thing twice. I know I'm right around the Moonrise. I might actually
So
be in Baldur's
so
Gate
you
and the
freed
Dark
Aelin
Courage.
trio?
But
Yes, yeah,
I
yeah.
had to fight her undead body. That Ketherac's like daughter, that girl.
Isabel,
like
yeah.
Isabel was like a part of the fight on Ketherac's side in
Did
my
you
Dark
guys
Courage.
get her?
Yes,
Because
I was like super evil.
Did she get kidnapped?
She probably
when
got
they-
killed in
Yes,
fight.
that was
Dude,
the one where I let her get killed.
okay,
I was just
did
like
I
killing
reloaded
everyone.
that fight so many times because I was like, dude, this whole camp is just gonna fucking die.
Yeah, that's what
And I'm
happened.
like, no. I'm like, I'm sitting here and I'm like, dude, this is annoying. Like, I'm gonna lose this whole camp because of the fucking gargoyles just run in. Like, no. And I got around it. But I really save scum the shit out of that fight.
Yeah, that one wasn't. That was
That
before I
wasn't too
lowered
bad for me.
my difficulty. I did
it
save
was
her
really
too.
hard.
Like he didn't get to kidnap her.
Yeah,
So
she
was
didn't get
stayed
kidnapped.
back all
In
the
my
time.
main, she
Yeah.
saved. She was
But
saved.
I was like, this whole camp's gonna die because of this. And then once you talk to her, you get locked into that. And I'm like, what the fuck, man? I'm just like, I didn't want to like talk to her and have this whole thing happen. I was like,
Quick
come
saves.
on.
Yeah, that's the game.
I didn't quick save before.
That's the game, though, Goose.
I
but
know,
it's like,
I know. It's annoying.
It's
sometimes,
like D&D.
though.
It's like, all right, roll for initiative. It's like,
Yeah.
fuck. All right, I
I
didn't want
didn't
to
realize that I was getting into a fight. Yeah.
I
Like, that's
have
what
to-
you're
I have
saying.
to admit, situations like that are much different in a video game. When you know, like, you
It
can
feels
miss
different,
stuff.
sure,
yeah,
yeah.
it feels a lot different. When in D&D, it's like, all right, I get like, it happened to us like 2 or 3 times last session.
But that's like when you're saying, like, when you get to Act 3 and there's like with Orin and there's the whole situation where like she takes someone to your camp. That's very like D&D where it's like
Yeah.
you have like a decision
So
to make.
I'm glad you brought that
Like,
up.
do we have to go
I
here or
was
should we go here?
Has Orin taken somebody yet?
No,
Nah,
so
I
she
doubt it.
just showed up to me and was like, "Kill, whatever. What's his
Gortash.
name?
Gortash.
Yeah.
She will take somebody soon.
And she took the form. She like tried to fuck with me as Lae'zel. She was. And then,
she took Lae'zel.
Well, so that's who she took. I assume.
Yep.
I haven't
She-
gone back
she
to
took
camp.
Lae'zel
She's
from me.
gone.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I assume that's
She
what
took
it
a
was.
little boy from me.
Yeah,
Little
so
kid I know.
it's
and
either
I-
Gale, Halcyon, Lae'zel, or the kid. If you
I
don't
fucked
have
up
any of
with the
those.
little kid at the camp. I forgot to tell her that her parents
Me
died.
too.
And then she left.
I
She like
know.
leaves you a note.
She
'cause
doesn't
she's
do
like,
anything.
Yeah,
Oh
but
wait,
I
No, but
Arabella?
Yeah.
if you
No,
don't tell her, she
Arab-
leaves you a note and says like, "I'm leaving. You're dead."
Yeah, you didn't tell me my parents were dead, you asshole.
Arabella, you get at the end of the game. She's like one of those. Like at the end of the game, you like here's everybody. Here's all the allies you gathered. She's one of them.
Oh, in your little like reunion thing.
no, in the last fight.
Oh, she's one of them that you can add in there.
Yep.
Damn. Oh, yeah, I didn't tell her about her parents either. So
Well,
I was very sad.
And,
about
it,
that.
and
I
it
did.
sucks because I did, and then I reloaded a save because I fucked something up, and then I forgot to do it again. So then I just
found
missed.
her. Maybe I didn't even find. No, they were in the.
Because she was hanging out with Withers with me the whole time. Like
Yeah.
she was
Yeah,
hanging
she,
about him.
she hangs out with others. She becomes a druid.
I guess so.
So did you know? Speaking of druids,
She does become a druid. Yeah.
Interesting.
in Act 1, there is a shadow druid plot with I think, what's her name, Kaga.
Oh yeah, I killed that girl.
That is, I missed that entirely. So if you kind of,
With a fear, the whole like not fear, the original thing with the little kid where like she's got the snake on
well,
her.
I saved her, so there was
Okay.
no issues. But like Kaga is trying to like
Start that quest. Or start that.
upend the circle for the shadow druids. I totally didn't.
She's
see
the
any of
leader
that.
that's like taking over for Halcyon while he's gone.
Yes,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
That's
So
why
there's a
she's
whole
being
plot.
all fucky.
Interesting. Okay,
Yeah.
so there's a whole plot line with that, and like you
Yeah.
can. Okay, see.
So there's a way to get her to like admit it, or there's something crazy.
Yeah.
I wish I knew it. I read it recently. Like, there's a way to have her admit that this is like part of her doing or some shit like that.
Yes, there is,
Like,
yeah.
I don't know how, but it's like very like
You have to
intricate.
work- yeah.
I wonder
Yeah.
how
Pretty
much
cool.
extra dialogue.
Dude,
there
I would
is
love to
just for the
see
speak
like
with the dead
the
stuff.
tree
Thank
of the
you.
game, like how fucking large, how much
God.
dialogues are in this game.
Yeah, like
It's
is
like
crazy.
endless.
Like again, like I'm like you could probably count for each of us how many things we've said in this podcast that we didn't know. And I think that's what makes this game absolutely great. I love the fact that the replayability isn't a new game plus, but it's just like playing again as something else, making different decisions. Like the replayability of this game, I think is as a video game, I think it has one of the most high quality replay experiences ever.
For sure.
Like
yeah.
Tons of replayability.
I've played Act 1 at
No,
least 6 or 7 times at this point.
Yeah.
Like pretty much fully through with like a completely different
right.
like,
It's
style.
crazy. It's not like, oh, like who are you siding with? Like, do you side with do you save the boomers or like Fall New Vegas or something? Like, do you save the side or like?
It's so
more
funny
than
you
that.
said boomers, and I thought you meant like old people boomers.
No,
I
forgot
I
you
meant
had some
the
actual
boomers
boomers
from Nelson
in
Air Force Base.
Nelson Air Force Base, yeah.
In New Vegas. I don't know why I was thinking about
It was
that.
just so funny because I was like, why is he going for boomers?
When we were talking about, so it was funny when we were thinking about Orin, like why she only took the boy from me, like the little boy in my
let's go
camp's
back.
camp.
Yeah.
Is because one Haslin died for me because I tried to
Halsin.
Hausen because I
Haslin.
tried whatever his name is.
Halcyon.
I freed him
Oh,
in
he
the
died.
I freed him in the goblin camp, and I was like, all right, this was a big fight. I need a rest. And he was like, we can't
was
rest now.
goblin
We
camp?
have to clear this
Oh,
out. And
and
I was like, fuck you, I'm
you told me
resting.
that, yeah.
And when I came back, he was
I remember
dead.
you saying that, yeah.
And then
you pissed on
Gale,
his
I never
corpse.
found. Who else was the other option?
Jira.
Did you hear it? Did
She
you get her?
must have
missed
been
out
in
on
my
Gale,
camp.
dude.
She must have been in my party, and Lizelle must have been in my party. So if they're in your party, she can't take them.
Yes,
Right.
that's
So
So
correct.
that's why she just took the boy.
Yeah.
I lucked out.
Yeah,
It wasn't
so
like-
okay, so here's my issue with this. Halsin got taken for me. I don't like how the game sort of forces you to go kill one of the main bad guys to get your companion back to be like, because I didn't like the fact that like, again, I'm switching all my characters in and out a lot, so
Yeah.
I'm kind of am having everyone experience like the journey, the Guccism immersion here.
Gooch, I don't think you like choice.
Which I think they actually I think they put the game on there to the point of like you're not supposed to do that. I think
What?
that's why that like the whole Orin thing makes sense for that because my experience like I didn't necessarily like that they took Lizelle, but I never used her
mean
in that
terms
thing.
of the fact that I don't like it, I'm supposed to not like it.
No, I'm saying like I think they made the game in the sense that you're almost not supposed to use every character in the same playthrough.
I'm curious.
Yeah, like I wonder
Well, and-
what their thoughts were with that.
I do think it's like again, it's one of those things that I think is inherently needed in RPG that doesn't get used that much anymore in modern RPGs. Is like making a tough choice,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
and like truly making you not like
Oh yeah.
you don't want you're
maybe
not
I don't
doing,
like choice.
Especially if you start doing the Dark Urge or even like just play an evil playthrough, like half the companions won't even stay with you. Karlach
Yeah,
will leave
once-
you immediately. Will
Yeah.
will leave you immediately.
Yeah.
Gale will stick around for a little bit.
so-
Shadowheart and Lizelle will do whatever you
Yeah,
say.
and
though.
it's not even the fact of choice. It's the fact that like, hey, we are forcing you to go kill Orin to get this person back, and that's how you get
Sure.
them back. You have to,
You wish there was another avenue to get that companion back without either killing Orin or killing Gortash.
Right.
Right.
Well,
There is. You send the boy, and you're like, I'll get to her when I get to her.
Penza's right.
There you go,
But
yeah.
like obviously on a first
I remember when it was like
on a first playthrough. You
when
don't
I
have that
found out
foresight.
who she took, I was like, who? I was like, oh, that fucking kid I talked to like 10 hours ago.
Wait,
Oh,
are you
all
talking
right.
about the redhead kid?
the
Or-
kid with the cat?
Yeah,
You
okay.
find him on the
yeah, it's a
outskirts
girl.
of
Right.
Baldur's
But you're
Gate.
right. You're totally right. And it was just like I was getting really annoyed. I'm like, I guess I'm gonna go after her. And it's not like a short quest. It's a pretty involved quest. Like, and I was just like, that's fucking lame. And then
Yeah,
like,
it's
and
very-
then,
I'm gonna-
everyone's level 12 and Halsin's like level 8 still, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, you know.
Wow.
So
Okay.
Just
all
level, just
right,
level up.
I'm at the choice
Yeah,
right
but
now.
like he didn't
Yeah.
get all.
I'm at the choice right now where she's like, you can like go kill Gortash for me, and honestly, that's what I think I was planning on doing, just because
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't fucking care about him. But also, he looks like I said this. He looks like a Final Fantasy character. Just want to say that.
He does. I mean, like,
He looks like you could
Can you-
literally pluck him right
can you
down into
keep
Final
Gor-
Fantasy,
can
and
you
he would
keep
look like.
any of those people alive. I guess it's kind of a spoiler.
That's
Gortash
okay.
or
I'm not
whatever?
worried really about spoilers
Can you
here.
keep Gortash or Orin alive?
No
If you
way.
do Dark Urge, you want to kill Orin because
You have to kill Orin
Yeah.
because you're both the spawn of Ball.
Unholy
Yeah.
assassins of Ball. Yeah, so you have to kill all of them.
I think I don't
I'm
think
sure
there's
there's
any
a way
way.
to
I
actually
don't
that
think
you
there's
don't
any
have.
way.
But I
around
guess
it.
how it unfolds is differently, I assume, right? Like if I chose to say fuck it, I'm actually gonna go after
Yeah.
Orin instead
Yes,
of
you
killing
can do
Gortash.
that.
Yeah, it unfolds a
and
little bit
then
differently.
okay, all right,
Yeah,
all right,
there are some other things that you do within Baldur's Gate, the city,
Sure.
that piss Gortash off. There's the steel foundry, which
Yeah.
I'm sure you're aware of. Like
Yeah.
if you go attack
That took me a
Gortash
while to
is
figure
like,
that all
Is
out.
there
That was
another
off.
way into
Yeah.
the city without going through the gate?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, because
Yeah,
I just
yeah.
did that and he took me to jail. And he like,
Oh, did you get out?
yeah, well, yeah, and then I escaped, and then you go upstairs. He's like, "That was a test. Come talk to me." And then you just have a conversation with Gortash,
Yeah,
and he
so,
gives you
so
the whole
you
thing.
can,
Oh, okay,
you can
I didn't see- I
fight
didn't see
them,
that.
or you can go around them.
How
Yeah,
do you
you
go
can go
around
around.
them?
You just have to like go up the scaffolding on the side. It's like
it's on the bridge. I'm
Yeah.
such a because I kept going down the side. To where
No,
it's-
yeah,
okay.
you like go like against the bridge. Like
I
if like this was
see.
scaffolding, and then you like go
Okay.
up.
Yeah, they just took me to jail. I mean, they're like, "Oh, we know
Yeah.
who you are."
Yeah, and I did that, and I was like, no.
Cool. I like how if you go up there with Will, at this point he's a tiefling.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, like I'm Duke Ravengard's son, and they,
Like,
they literally are like, no.
Yeah, I was like, "That's
Yeah,
impossible."
they're like, yeah, like lol. Yeah, I was like, what the fuck? I was kind of surprised. I was like,
When that whole thing happened, that was a crazy scene.
what, when
With
got
Will,
turned
like,
in?
yeah, he gets turned into tiefling. I was
I
like,
actually
damn.
thought Will was really vanilla at first. I was like,
I
he's
agree,
the
he has
basic.
an
I didn't like
interest
him.
in me
I
that
didn't like
much.
him. I didn't
I'm
like
like, he's just
I
the,
didn't
he's
like
the
him.
blade of the frontiers.
I
whatever that
figured
is.
you love him because that's like that's like how you kind of played
Penz is
your
like, "This is Gooch's
yeah
guy."
yeah like that's how you kind of played your
No.
paladin. Less like very like I feel like you're always a very like lawful like
Character, sure.
yeah good.
I thought it was cool
character.
because, like, as soon as I saw
a
Will,
good
he was a
observation.
warlock, I was immediately just
Yeah.
like full on. Like, oh, this guy's a bad guy. Like,
And-
cool,
and-
this
and
is
now
fun.
that
And
we
he's
bring-
like the most justice.
Now
of
that
them
we
all.
bring up warlocks, I don't think I understand warlocks even still, and I
So
use
war-
Will a lot.
A warlock is essentially you sell your soul for power, and they gain power. Like they're used. It's kind of like a little bit of a cleric,
Right?
Basically.
No, I understand like the lore behind the warlocks. I don't understand like how to play them. So, but like you only have like 3 spells.
Yeah,
Don't
so
matter,
they're packed
dude.
spell slots. So it's and those 3 spell slots
don't
come
even
back with
need
a
'em,
bonus
bro.
action. It's definitely a
Yeah,
little bit different.
I was like, when I'm using Will, he wasn't weak for me by any means, but I always thought like I'm like I don't think I understand like how this works.
Nah,
Yeah,
you just
yeah.
use what's it called his cantrip.
Eldritch Blast.
that's
Eldritch
pretty much
Blast.
It's so good.
It is
Yeah.
so crazy. Dude.
Yeah, with,
It's
the,
all you
with
need.
the knockdown.
Yeah.
So
because you
good.
can just cast it whenever, and you're just like,
I had a
alright.
great moment with Lae'zel in the crash where like I'm leaving like the main building after you kill the guy that like wants the prism, and there's that bridge and like another like main Gith Yankee like comes in, and like as Lae'zel I just kind of like fucking like not purposely just like booped her right off the ledge, and I'm like I'm not loading that.
Now that's another thing too that I guess going back to that statement I made about a little railroadiness. Lae'zel's. So did you do the full crash? I did it during
Yeah.
the Dark Urge, and legitimately the mindset that I tried to play it was, okay, Lae'zel's my girlfriend in Dark Urge. I want her to get everything out of this. So I tried to play in a way like she basically gave them the prison. And they still force you to fight and deal with it. And like there's no option where they
You just
let you
get-
live.
yeah.
The crash. Which I felt
Yeah,
was a
you
little
have to
bit
kill
weird.
them, yeah.
Like, cause that you like give it to them and they're like, oh. All right, well, you're
ya.
fucking dead.
Oh,
like,
you took this.
yeah, yes.
Yeah.
And it just doesn't feel necessary, right? Because even like Vlaakith, I think is the name, the
Yeah,
god,
the god,
like comes out and stuff and like has parts in it, but
I think there are clear points, Vlaakith being one of them, like that whole conflict not really resolving in game per se, and Karlach, where I think they just kind of ran out of time to
Yeah.
write the rest of that ending. So like with
like too
Lae'zel,
much, like-
you never fight Vlaakith in game. It happens, but after
outside of the thing,
yeah,
yeah, and it sucks.
And then like with Karlach, we were talking about this last week when we were playing D&D, like just doesn't have a good ending.
No.
And I mean,
She
like,
just has
she
to go back
has
to hell,
a
right?
good
You
ending,
can't
essentially.
fix her engine.
I
Right.
think that ending is not necessarily.
sure you can't fix
bad.
her engine?
No,
I'm
yeah, there's
positive.
no
Looked
way.
it up?
Yeah.
There's no way.
And the problem I have with that ending is, so my party was Karlach, Shadowhell, and Gale. So to me, Karlach was my closest friend, and Shadowheart's my lover, whatever. And the fact that obviously Karlach's like, I'm gonna die, and I'm like, well, the dialogue for, I'll go with you to Avernus. Like, don't do this. You don't have to die. Like, I'll sacrifice to go with you. Like, of course I'll do that. You're my friend.
Sure.
Well, as I clicked that, I assumed that my girlfriend was gonna come with me too. And then I think that's a beautiful ending. Like, you guys all go down there together and you just keep having adventures. But they show you and Karlach for 6 months in Avernus doing this thing, and then okay, you have your little reunion, and Shadowheart and you like meet back up, and it's like, oh hey,
What up? Yeah.
She's
She's with her new boyfriend.
What
like,
are you
yeah,
doing?
yeah.
What?
right.
It just felt so like the only time in the entire game where I was like, wow, it didn't matter what decision I made.
Yeah,
I guess.
And that's no fun in an RPG.
Yes.
Will can become sort of like he deepens his like Blade of the Frontiers role, and it becomes the Blade of Avernus, and he like goes to Avernus and hunts.
And he can go with her.
Yeah, that's what happened in my
Galen,
playthrough.
That's sick.
Will went with Karlach.
Yeah, Karlach can go with Will, but like Karlach doesn't want to be in Avernus, so it's not really a good ending. And then the only other thing besides her dying, literally, so if you don't do anything, she dies. She just dies at the end of the game.
And you cry because it's the sad. That song is beautiful.
Yeah, and then
I Want to Live.
And
It's
then
called.
the only other thing, and I think it's the most logical decision, at the end of the game, you have to make someone a full illithid. She volunteers. And it's the only choice that makes sense, like out of your whole party. Like Orpheus, if you make him
I made Orpheus.
an illithid,
I was like, I don't want to name my
you
guys.
kind of like you
I
like
made Orpheus
you
too.
kind of fuck the whole Githyanki thing up, and then
Yeah, Lizelle was pissed. I was like, why
and then
are
like
you so
you
mad?
can
Shut
become
the
an
fuck
illithid
up.
or another companion, but I'm like, Karlach is the only person who makes sense to do this, and like I'm like, yeah,
No, but then
I'm
you,
like,
when you said that she says soldier in her voice,
Hey,
as
Soldier.
the illithid, I would have just ended my life immediately right then and there.
so
like
there's
I
an
couldn't see that.
There's an
no
epilogue
way.
scene, and they all come back, and Karlach is there as an illithid, and she's like losing her personality.
Right.
But she calls you a soldier still, and like, but it's like, hey, soldier. You know, she's like losing it slow.
She's assimilating.
I was
yeah,
never
it's
crazy about Karlach in my.
I like her a lot. She's
Really?
cool.
Yeah, I thought she was fine, but she was kind of like annoying to me, and I was
I like her little
alright,
jig.
Like,
She
shut up
starts
with
like
your
dancing.
like, and I did
I don't
all
know.
the stuff. Like,
She
I
was
like,
just a badass.
I like
I would
her.
keep finding the blacksmith and like be like
Yeah,
doing her
yeah.
thing. But then like when it got to Gortash and like when I found him, like she wasn't in my party, and I was like, I'm not going back
yeah,
together.
she has a moment.
Yeah, and I was
She
like,
does.
I'm
She's
just
ready to
fucking
kill him.
I'm
The
like, I'm
best
just
love
doing
interest
this.
is 100% Lysel. There's no argument. But
Shadowheart.
Shadowheart was
I-
good.
Sha-
Shadowheart was
and
good.
Shadowheart stuff is pretty good with the Shar stuff. It's just
is.
if you kill Aelin, you get locked out of you can't romance her anymore because she dedicates to Shar.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
you can't romance evil.
That makes sense because
Shadowheart.
she's
Yeah.
fully committed to Shar. Right,
Yeah,
or whatever.
I'm curious what Shadowheart is like if you do that.
Yeah,
She just
'cause I
stays
did
the
convince her
same,
to not-
probably.
I feel like she would kind of be like really drinking the Kool-Aid now.
No, yeah, she is.
Well, I mean, you can kind of like.
yeah, I guess she kind of is.
But I wonder what
before.
happens if you go to like the House of Hope with her. I mean, not the House of Hope. House
the
of Hope is that hers or House of Hope is?
No, House of Hope is the place where you find that doctor where you get him to kill
Oh
himself.
yeah. What's like the place in the back corner
house
of Baldur's Gate?
The House of Grief.
Is that what it is? House of
that's
Grief?
That's it.
Yeah.
Where like
Yeah, that's where the
Sharans and all that
Sharans
stuff?
are.
I wonder what happens if
Fine.
like you go there with her when she's like dedicated.
Oh, they're probably cool with her
Yeah.
then. Yeah.
So Viconia is also another Baldur's Gate 1 character.
Who's
Is that
that?
the,
The woman in the,
you'll
in the
meet
store?
her.
Oh,
Yeah.
she's in?
No, she's in Shar. Or,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Shadowheart's
Is that like the
kind of
friendly
leader.
one after everything?
She's the drow.
Oh,
The-
there's
the
one.
head of the-
there's one that you can speak to
coven.
like after everything happens, who like recognizes Shadowheart from like
No,
years ago.
yeah, no, I know who you're talking about. It's not her. But one thing that was cool with like the whole ball quest with Orin, you get to see the main bad guy of Baldur's Gate 1, who's Savarok. And I'm like, this is cool. So bringing Jaheira, and I didn't have Minsk yet, but bringing Jaheira to that is really cool because it's like,
Oh, she has dialogue for that.
yeah, and they
eh?
talk about Baldur's Gate 1. It's like, the main
Yeah,
character
that's
was
cool.
called the Ball Spawn. Like, you're a ball spawn in that game. And this was like over 100 years ago.
Yeah, they go back to Ball.
wow.
It's got to be like,
So, like,
Dark Urge has to be.
And that's why I was
Yeah.
like looking for Baldur's Gate 1 lore videos, and they're like non-existent. Like, besides that one you showed me, and it's like an audio book, and I'm like, I
It
need
is
a little
funny
more.
the cutoff for certain things. We talked about this in another one, but I was like trying to look up trophy videos for like Riddler trophy videos for Arkham Asylum.
Wow, no.
Non-existent. There's there's one IGN terrible video that doesn't even. It just is like, this is where it's at, and then it cuts to another one. This is where it's at. So bad.
Yeah, but like I those original Baldur's Gate games I think are just so niche. I would like to play them. They're on Xbox.
Baldur's Gate
Yeah.
2, I believe, is entirely in the city of Baldur's Gate.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It is. I
Which
don't know
is like
much about
which
it.
was pretty like ambitious at the time.
So
Yeah.
An entire city versus like
Wow.
Have you found out about Answer yet? The dragon under the worm? No, probably not.
No, I don't think so.
So there's a quest with Will. It's his quest. Like there's a dragon under worm.
I know.
Oh,
it's
wow. And you fight a dragon?
Yeah. So it's
You didn't do it?
No.
Yeah. Yeah,
bro.
with Will.
Sick.
Yeah.
So honestly, I didn't really use Will. I didn't like Will
I
that much.
love
Yeah, so you can go find. So he's like,
never had
well,
Gale,
he's
so
like,
Will-
Ansur's
Yeah.
the heart of the gate. Like, if anyone's gonna help us against the Netherbrain, it's gonna be this big dragon. And you go down there, you do all the trials, and you find out that Ansur, it's a dragon, and he's dead. Sorry for
No, it's okay. It's okay.
I feel bad, even though Trio
I
knows.
fully expected spoilers coming in here today.
Yeah.
I'm not
So
concerned.
Ansur's dead, and like you find him, it's like he's dead. Like he's down here, but he's dead. And you find out that Ansur is not a dragon; he is a dragon born, and he is the friend of Baldurin. Baldurin trapped him down there, and the Emperor is Baldurin.
Is that how you find out that?
Yes,
Wow. Okay.
that was insane to me, and it breaks lore 110%. It makes no sense that he.
Yeah,
like,
the adventurer Baldurin. yeah.
I looked this up. I'm like, Baldurin? Like, you mean like, I'm like, Baldur's
Like
Gate was
Baldur's
founded
Gate?
like
Yeah.
thousands of years ago.
Yeah.
And like, I looked it up, and it's like, yeah, like Baldur's Gate has been around for like 3,000 years at this point. And I'm like, so I'm like, how the fuck is he alive? He literally said he went to Moonrise as a person. When he tells you his lore, he's like, I went to Moonrise, I found the Elithic colony, and this is how I am the way I am. And I'm like, what?
Maybe he was named after Baldur.
So no, he is Baldurin. He is the Baldurin
Right.
that founded Baldur's Gate. But apparently he didn't found Baldur's Gate, according to the lore. Like, it can't be him, but it is him. And like,
What about time travel shenanigans? Who knows?
I
I
know,
forget
but-
what
but
like,
there's,
in
like,
the D&D, like the lore is something along the lines
Somebody-
of like he's like a traveler and something like that,
He's
and then
just
never
in-
came back,
right,
and then they
but-
founded
So
the
he
city
goes
in
to
his
an
name.
island. He
Yeah.
he gets fucked up there, and he flees with Ansur, the Dragonborn.
Oh, okay.
And he goes to Moonrise like on his own, and I think he's looking for a cure for him. And he gets captured by the Illithids there, and he gets out, but he goes to Ansur, and I think he helps him, but he's like, I'm fucked.
So why do they call?
And he's
it-
like, dude,
why
you
do they
can't
name
do
the
this.
city after him?
They don't. I
forget.
Well, he founds it, but he didn't, like, in the lore, it doesn't really make sense that he would found it. Baldur's Gate has always been there as a city, but it changed names. But again, if he was alive when this game is taking place, he would not have been alive 3,000 years ago. So, like, somebody was explaining,
does the Illithid like do anything to him? Like calls
extend
their-
his life
Yeah.
when he becomes a
I don't
Lithid. But
know.
again, he says it was 100 years ago. Moonrise Towers is like a new thing. You talk to the guy who makes it at one point. If you go to
Yeah, but he could have been like
House of Hope with
an
Raphael.
Illithid for like way.
Well, is
longer.
Baldurin a human, right?
yeah.
Yeah. So
He could have been like an Illithid.
So
for
I
way
just thought it
longer.
was.
don't
I
know.
just thought that was interesting. I didn't
No.
really-
It might make sense because he says like he wasn't when he became an Illithid. He was like under their control for a while. Then one day he
does say
kind of
that.
like
Yeah, but again,
came out of it.
But like everyone, he tells you like he was with like Stelmane and stuff. But like that was like recently.
Yeah, because remember he was like still an Illithid,
Right,
performing in
but
Baldur's
this
Gate
was
for like 100
within
years.
the last 100 years, which would make sense. But
Yes,
his life would
but-
be expanded, but thousands of years.
Yeah, but here's the thing, like you
he would have
said,
had to survive this whole time. Like,
as working as an Illithid.
no, because
I don't know what
Moonrise
their-
wouldn't have existed.
what is
Yes,
Illithid's
but-
lifespan? Do we know that? I don't know.
But he makes the point of like, so like, say it happened 3,000 years ago, he became an Illithid,
Okay.
and then 2,900 years, he wakes up from it because he talks about how he wakes up from like being in the
in the
control,
control
of the
outer
brain,
yeah.
and then for 100 years, he's working in Baldur's Gate.
He becomes the emperor.
Remember, he's working undercover and all
Yeah.
that stuff, and that's how like the Moonrise Tower stuff.
Maybe-
That's
that
probably
does
what
kinda make sense.
that probably what.
Because I'm just like when I found that out, I'm like, what? I'm like,
Howdy hoobity waddy.
this doesn't make any sense at all. But like that Illithid colony has been there for thousands of years. It doesn't seem like Moonrise Towers has been this fucked up. Like the Shadow Curse Lands is like 100 years old. Like it hasn't been there that long. Ketheric Thorm died 100 years ago. They talk about it.
Another thing that's weird about him being Baldurin too. So like once you get to that point where you have to make the choice of turning them into an Illithid, it might be like right before this, but like you have essentially an option to be like, nah, dude, fuck off. Like
Yeah.
I don't like you, Emperor. I told you multiple
You can have
times.
sex with
Go. Yeah,
Nice.
you can. You definitely can. But you can tell him to fuck off, and he literally
I didn't really
just
tell him to fuck off. I was friends with him until the end.
no. So like if
Yeah,
you
but
tell
he,
him
like,
to fuck
rubbed
off
me the
though,
wrong
he
way.
straight up goes, well, fuck you then, and then just switches sides and goes
Yeah,
and does
yeah,
the Elder
at the
Brain.
end, at
Yeah,
the end,
that
yeah.
I did not like that. I did not think that was
If
in
you-
character
So
at
basically,
all.
you side with the Emperor or Orpheus at the end because he doesn't, he doesn't want you to free
Right,
Orpheus.
right, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you do that, he's like, Yeah, I'm joining the Netherbrain. See ya.
and then just leaves.
Yeah, like I'm just like, what? I'm like, you've been working all this time to like go against them, and you're just like,
And you're just gonna assimilate back?
Yeah.
'cause he talks about how he's like, I broke free and
Yeah.
I'm no longer on the domineerance
Literally
of the
just
Elder Brain.
opens a portal next to him and then just goes immediately
off,
back,
yeah.
like
See
straight
you in the
up goes
final battle.
back under control, and
yeah,
that
and you,
fights
and you
against
fight him
you.
at the
Yeah.
end. Yeah.
I thought that was very weird. But and you like going into the game, I know that it was like talked about like where like Act 3 was the least fleshed out that they did. Like
There's a lot going on.
Exploring
Yeah.
Baldur's Gate is awesome, but it's funny that Act 3 is the longest act because Baldur's Gate is so
yeah.
It's massive.
Yeah,
Every building
like,
takes so
it's so
long
funny
to
So
deal
like,
with.
I got to the lower city. Is there
No,
more
so you're
to
not
it than
technically in Baldur's
even
Gate
in
yet.
there.
that?
You're not even
I'm
in
not
Not
in the
even-
city yet?
Yeah,
No.
well, you are, but you're in the outskirts.
you can't
Yeah.
you can't go
So
to
even when I'm talking to what's his name, but Gortash and all that stuff, like he's
Yeah,
not.
not yet.
Okay,
no,
all right.
you've gone through like the outskirts of the city. You go through to the next part of the city, but you don't go to the upper city. You're in there at the end of the game. But like if
see.
you try to go there, like the Elder Brain will like start freaking
Yeah,
the fuck
but
out.
like you're about to get a whole new map.
I see. Okay. All right. Interesting.
And then there's the sewers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So more
Dude, it's so-
Underdark.
and there's
content.
so many
You're like at
stories
the
and
end, but like
missions,
you
dude.
could
There's
really.
still a lot more to go.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
Sink in another
Act 2 is
100 hours.
probably the
Easily.
shortest.
Yeah, I'm gonna play more today. I haven't
Yeah,
had a
Act
chance
2
to
is
play
the
against
most
others,
like
but-
streamlined.
Yeah,
Definitely.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, but even
the
Act
smallest
1,
area.
I liked Act 1 is like
Act
really-
1's my favorite.
It's very casual in a way. Like it's introducing all these elements to you very
There's a
slowly.
lot in Act 1,
And
dude.
I'm curious what you guys think. I really don't know how I feel about the fact that the main villain of the game is introduced literally at the end of Act 2. Like you see Gortash and Orin for the first time, and you're like,
What do you mean?
like the main villain of the game is introduced literally at the end of the game.
Well, I mean, I guess it depends on
No,
how much
but
you
we
know
all-
about
no,
D
but
and
we
D. But like
know,
as
like-
soon, I knew right away from the start that it was going to be Elder Brain.
Oh no. I'm not talking about the Elder Brain. That makes sense. Like the way that's revealed. But like the you know, like if we knew about like Gortash, Orin, and Ketheric Thorm, like we get tidbits of Ketheric Thorm in Act 1, but if like we knew about them in Act 1, because they kind of, okay, here's your big bad. But we don't know about
Yeah,
our
but we
big-
don't really
Yeah,
know
but
what the
that's
fuck
just
we're doing.
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
Like
makes
we
sense
just
narratively.
came to our senses after like being on the ship and we're like,
It's just interesting. Like think about any game you play. You know who the bad guy is within probably 10 hours of starting the game.
I do wish
Maybe.
they switched Gortash and Ketheric though, like their roles.
Yeah,
like I
Ketheric
felt
was
like
so
Ketheric
good.
should have been the
J.K.
top guy.
Simmons,
I
you
know,
know?
He
Ketheric
was
was so
unreal.
good, dude.
He was
Yeah.
amazing.
Everything about his character, his voice, his acting, like he did such a good job. And I think that he should have just been the main, and Gortash would have served fine as that
No,
first guy.
absolutely. It's funny. I don't know. I feel like it progressed very naturally in the
I
way
mean,
of like
so do
revealing
I.
these villains.
It's
and,
just
like,
an
what-
interesting choice. That
And then you're like, oh shit, the big bad is like, who's in charge of Baldur's
here's the
Gate?
three.
Like,
Right.
what? Like shit like
Well,
that. I
like
think that was cool.
finding out that Gortash became the Archduke is fine, like where it is. It's just the fact that it's like if you would have saw their faces a little bit and you knew who Gortash was early on, maybe not knowing that he was the big bad. Like Karlach mentioned,
I was
him,
gonna say, Karlach
and
definitely
you
talks about
Gortash.
him.
It means nothing
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
moment, right? It's
But then you're like, oh shit, Gortash, the one that has fucked up Karlach
is the big bad.
Is not
it's
only
funny
the big
'cause
bad, but he's
Karlach
also
was
the
with me
Archduke. It's
when
like,
we
oh my
see
god.
him, and she gives me the
And
context with him.
like
which
let me
I
put
Oh,
it,
appreciate.
nice.
like,
Yeah,
let me
yeah,
put it in the
yeah.
context of this.
You need her for the fight. It's
you know, I
amazing.
didn't get to that fight until 80 hours in.
Yeah.
You know, just think about it
Sure.
like that. Like it's just a strange way to do it. I'm not saying it's bad. But I'm
You're
not.
saying it's different.
I'm not gonna say like, oh, the villains of Baldur's Gate really good. I would not say that.
Well, I
Yeah,
would
but
say
look at
so.
it like-
Technically, you look at it in a way of like the main villain is the Absolute, which is the
the Elder
leaders
Brain.
of the Absolute.
right, you know the absolute.
So you
but-
do know
That's-
of the organization.
but it-
I think that's
yeah.
enough.
But again, like until the Nether
Like I
Brain,
don't think them letting me know who Gortash is early on changes
the Elder
anything.
Brain
Yeah.
breaking free is where the Elder Brain in Act 3, where he becomes more of the issue. But like the absolute is Orin, Gortash, and
Right.
Ketheric.
yes.
So it's
Yeah,
like
and,
this.
and then they start. Well, you killing Ketheric for him.
that shit is
really what-
amazing, and we really
Yeah.
briefed over that though. But like while you're walking around the Goblin camp, like just the amount of dialogue from like stupid little goblins
That's
here and
where I
there,
got
just
the
talking
BDSM.
about the
The
Absolute.
The absolute
plus.
stuff
Oh,
and like
amazing.
the tadpoles in the beginning is very interesting because you really don't know what the fuck is
Yeah.
going on.
Exactly.
And
It's
they
like
get
that's
true
and that's what I
souls.
like about it.
Yeah.
It illuminates you
Well,
throughout the
yeah,
campaign, and
that
then you're
part of it.
introduced to these
Yeah.
these characters.
Did
like,
you get branded?
No.
Who's Brandon?
No, in the
Branded.
Goblin camp,
By,
yeah, you can get
Yeah,
branded.
no, I
by-
didn't. Yeah.
No.
Yeah, you can get like you can take that girl's like ring or something too. It does something
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that
if you-
branded,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, there's a few.
That's like a permanent buff, I think.
Right,
Too.
yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone got the permanent invisibility one, right?
What?
That was the you see invisibility buff.
No.
Did you do that?
Yeah.
When do you get? How do you get
Oh
that?
my god!
maybe
did you
I
have
did
the
have it.
bar? Did you ever save him?
Yeah.
So he at one point in your thing is like,
He wants
like
to
yeah,
get your
like
eye?
let me fuck with your eye a little
Yeah.
bit.
Oh,
Did you say no?
I did it once. He took out my eye. I was like, I don't want to lose my eye, so I loaded a save.
Ah.
But I
so
didn't
you
continue
get a
with it.
glass eye,
Yeah.
and then it all permanent see invisibility.
That's
Yeah.
really cool.
But
See,
you have to go
missed that when
through with
happened.
it though.
Like,
Yeah,
yeah.
he tries to take the thing out.
He does it like
Yeah.
there's like 4
I
checks,
went
so
on
it
the
keeps
table.
being like, "Do you really want me to try again? Do
Yeah,
you really?"
yeah.
Yeah, I went on the table and I was like, no. And
Yeah.
yeah, that's cool.
So you get
That's
you
really
get permanent
interesting.
see invisibility.
Can he join your party? That bard?
No.
No,
I
he's
didn't
just in
think
your
so.
camp.
Yeah, he's in your
Yeah,
camp.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Like and speaking of party members, I just had an issue with like Minsk and maybe not Jahira. Like I think Jahira and Housen entering the group right at the end of Act 2 is fine, but Minsk being
Still late.
thrown in right at the end of the game, like you barely really have. He has no personal quest. You know you don't really have time to like acclimate with him as a character in gameplay. Like story wise, it's fine. But I was just like, yeah, like
And what
again,
level
like,
does he come in at? Because you said
Whatever level
Housen.
you're at.
Okay, so when you said Housen was level 8 and you guys were level 12, like
well, I
what's-
had leveled up.
Well,
to
so
12.
they don't level until you level them,
Yeah.
right?
yeah, you
Right, so-
level them, right?
Right, but
So he
was
just hasn't had- he just didn't have
just
him in
had
his
levels
party.
banked.
Yeah, he had-
okay,
yeah,
okay,
his
okay, okay.
levels
Well,
are
I mean,
banked.
I think they do like adding Minsk was kind of just like
Fan service.
Yeah,
kind of
fan
thing.
service.
And Matt
thing to-
Mercer plays him as well.
yeah, it was like
No
fan
way,
yeah.
really?
Yeah,
No, I'm mad as shit that I didn't find them. Damn.
yeah,
That's
Yeah, I think it was just
awesome.
like a fan service thing more than anything.
That's
yeah.
really cool.
Yeah, I
I mean,
mean,
it was cool that they had him because like him and his little hamster are like very like iconic in the Baldur's Gate world.
Yes,
Like
yeah.
they like his interdimensional space rabbit. I mean space hamster that only he can understand. Like you try to speak like to
Yeah, I need to
animals
meet
to
this
it,
guy.
and like you can't talk to the
Wow.
hamster. Only he can. Like it's funny.
God, how much do you think is like hidden stuff? Like, can you
So
talk
much,
to every
dude.
animal? Like,
That's what I
that
mean, yeah.
is insane.
Did you talk to the pigeons?
No.
That was
No.
my favorite. You have to find. There's a
Oh,
quest,
yeah, yeah.
and you have
You're
to
doing
find.
math.
Like,
Oh,
there's
yeah,
pigeons
yes,
missing.
yes.
And,
And they're like
I did-
soldiers.
Yeah,
Like,
they're
oh,
like,
soldier.
what's up, soldier? I'm like, oh, they're like, I'm looking for your fucking your pigeons.
then-
They're
and then
like,
it's
they
like-
were lost in sector D5. Like it's
It's
so
like
funny.
Gail's fucking
Oh,
flying
what?
cat. And
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
Gail's cat is absolutely random.
That's so funny.
That is amazing.
As
Wow.
Oh, that's Gail's cat.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't. He wasn't with me when I like fucked with it. So
Because when he
I
goes in, like at the
Profound.
end, like he has like a school or something like that. And, like the
Interesting.
cats like have like
So
a.
I
they
gotta
talk.
ask, how was your? Did you guys run into bugs, glitches? How was the performance on PC? Because
PC was really good.
totally fine.
Not
Yeah.
one
how are
problem.
your load
really.
times?
No,
Not terrible.
nothing.
Yeah,
that,
not
like,
bad at all.
Pretty bad on PS5.
They are
Yeah,
bad
no,
on PS5.
I mean,
don't get me
they're
wrong. They're
really
like
bad.
noticeable.
pretty long,
but like,
but,
Dude,
like-
on PS5, it's about I would say 40 seconds.
Yeah,
the
it's-
initial load up on PC definitely took some time, but
I
other
agree
than
with
that,
that.
I didn't
Once
have
you're
any
in,
I'm
it's
problem.
like, I'm like,
Yeah.
damn.
I would love to actually time it.
Yeah,
it
it's
never felt
probably
like I
like
was
around
sitting
there.
there.
I
like,
would. Oh, that I
You
did.
know what I
yeah, I
mean?
like one on my
Or like
phone.
you're on the back
Oh,
in the
yeah,
day
that's why I gotta
Skyrim
go on
thing,
my
you're
phone.
gonna
Yeah.
spit in the
yeah,
sand.
it's
Yeah.
still going.
No, there
Yeah.
were there were moments when like it would chug, like
For sure.
if I was
Yeah.
blowing shit up, and I'd be like, oh, all
Yeah,
right.
and I.
But actually, so I ran the game on my PC 4 copies at once because to play a group with all characters that you made, you literally have to start the game
yeah.
4 times and make 4 characters at the same time and get to the point where you can save, and then everyone else just drops out, and then your main guy controls everyone.
Oh,
It's
interesting.
sick, but it's not necessarily worth it because you lose dialogue. Like
Yeah.
every single time you talk to
Yeah.
one of them, it literally like this person that you once knew is just staring into space.
Yeah,
Weird.
Yeah.
No,
strange.
But it ran and allowed me to run the game 4 copies at once, which I
it
thought
did,
was insane.
it did chug
Yeah.
a little bit for me, and I had to do some stuff on the back end on my PC when I got into Baldur's Gate. Like Act 3 was when it got like
Yeah,
all right,
Baldur's
there's a
Gate was
lot
There's
definitely
just
going
so
on.
much going on.
Oh my god!
Yeah, I didn't run.
ton.
I had mine. I wasn't running on like max settings by any
I
means or
wasn't
anything
either.
like that.
I had
But
to
like,
turn shit down. I had to-
yeah, I switched. I messed
update
with it a
my
little bit at the
RAM.
beginning, but mostly I was running at 60 frames, no issues.
Yeah.
So the only glitch I ran into was in Act 3. I had some faces where like I guess their mouth was like detached. And, like, flying. it was like their face was like detextured, and it seemed like their eyes and like mouth were like moved over into like non-existent
Oh my
territory,
God.
and it only happened like once or twice, but for how big this game is and like loading times aside, it ran and performed really well.
Yeah.
I guess some other gripes I had. It's funny. I think I'm the only one who has said anything negative about this game, but. These are just huge nitpicks.
Yeah, sure.
It's the thing is with a game like it is so good that like even these little nitpicks are nothing.
Right.
You know
I
what
really think
Like,
the thing that would hold anyone back, if it's anything, is the style of gameplay. And
Yeah,
honestly, I'm
definitely,
just
definitely.
surprised.
That's like that held you back.
Yes, and that's what I mean. And I think that's what like is kind of so insane and amazing about this game, that like it did so successfully as a tactical or what's
When my cousin
Turn-based,
John
yeah,
came up to me,
turn-based
he was
RPG.
like, "I've been playing like a ton of Baldur Gate 3." I'm like, "That is fucking insane."
right?
This game is not like, and like even like Elden Ring, like these gameplay genres, D&D like has become, well, these gameplay genres aren't like super what you would think accessible. Like it's not like a shooter or something like that.
Yeah.
People can like jump into a game and
No, I think it's comparable to Elden Ring in that sense.
Yeah,
too, 'cause,
it
like,
is
I never
comparable,
played
but,
any
like-
of the Dark Souls, but I totally
Well, and I
got
can
into
see
Elden
someone
Ring
jumping into
and
this and
loved
getting
that.
really overwhelmed very easily, but they don't.
And it's funny
Yeah,
because when we
yeah.
talk about games like this, like our Game of the Year contenders, it's usually us, like, not like when me and Trio sit here and talk about, like, I don't know, like RoboCop. It's like a much different conversation.
Sure.
We're just like talking about the game, not even like in a review sense. We're just like, the game is that good that we're talking about all these things and how fun it is and how different and like yada yada yada.
Yeah.
Like I think Elden Ring was like that with like Tim. We're not really talking about like what's good and what's bad. It's like a very different kind of review with games.
Definitely,
like this.
it's much
Yeah,
more
like-
positive in that way too. So it makes it a lot
Right,
easier. Yeah.
we're all very positive about the game. Yeah,
You have to really think about those points you don't like.
Yeah,
Right,
the
and
only
that's
thing I
what
can think
I
of is
did.
like what you said. It's like, well, if you're not into turn-based, then you might not be into it, but it's like it's worth giving.
But
it
if
a
you
shot,
love
dude.
good RPGs and great fleshed out stories, that outweighs it for me for sure.
Yeah,
And that's the funny thing.
And like,
yeah.
and they're active. Like they're fixed. Like even little nitpicks. Like in the beginning, where you said you like how you could change everything. Well, at first you could only change your class. You couldn't change your look or any of that. And they were like, all right, here's a mirror now.
the magic
Like,
mirror,
Oh,
that
you
is
want
cool.
this? Here's this now.
Yeah.
Like they were very active right away with just
And I-
like
and I-
fixing.
And I will
fixing.
say one thing that still annoys me, and they added in this, but not how I wanted them. Like, party inventory management,
Yeah,
where it's like,
yeah.
dude, even in your camp, you can see it. It's like, okay, but I want to change it and not have to switch the fucking person over every
yeah,
time.
that is the one.
That was
right.
absurd.
That's the
That
one.
was
Something
absurd.
you have seen, but you two might have not. They added in the thing where, like, oh, your party's full. You can, while talking to that person, switch Shadowheart out with like whoever's in your party in that
Yeah, in the
conversation.
dialogue it
that's
says, "Oh, who do you want to
awesome.
replace?" It's like
Because
Karlak.
that was
Oh
so
yeah,
my
like
fucking
you can
God.
take over for Karlak.
That's
Yeah,
amazing.
that's so
Yeah.
funny. I forgot
But-
that wasn't even like a thing at the beginning because
Yeah.
You had to get this person just to see their inventory. So you
Yeah.
had to drop a character, go get this character, then look at their inventory,
Yeah, what do you
then
have?
drop. It was
I do
actually
remember.
But still,
absurd.
it's like,
It was
okay, like
miserable.
great. I can look at Lae'zel's inventory while I'm at my camp, but like, let me fucking
Yeah.
change it. Let me
Yeah.
take things out of their inventory without bringing them to my party. Like, holy shit! I don't
Wait, so
think
you
it's,
can just look at them?
yeah,
That's what you're telling
So
me?
it's
You
like
can't move them? What?
I
That's
can
so
look
wild.
at their inventory, but I can't move the items. And you can like,
Unless they're in
I
your
like how
party.
in the
Right,
field,
okay.
like you can send stuff to your camp constantly.
Yeah.
like it makes it because like I was getting over encumbered all the time because I was a bard. But
I'm
yeah,
gonna start using some bags now when we get home.
It's
yeah.
so like
I'm
what
gonna
the best
spend
way to
3
do
hours
it. What I
getting
tried to do is
that
because there's so many like you can get like you'll want a keychain, the alchemy pouch, a regular
Right.
backpack, and then there's like 6 or 7
camp
different
supplies.
looking backpacks. And it doesn't matter, but it helped me differentiate.
Yeah, you're like,
when-
that's that backpack.
Yes,
yeah,
I
that's my
knew-
alchemy backpack or whatever.
yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
So the alchemy and the keychain will automatically do
Right,
it for
that's
you.
because there's the pouch. Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
But everything else is just up to you.
All right, interesting.
Yeah, and I like how the game sort of comes to a conclusion where like you get all your allies come together, and I had like so many different interesting people. The Ox was I think the coolest.
Oh
one.
yeah.
Oh,
I was like
I'm gonna forget this. One more thing about the backpack I saw after I was playing. A really cool thing. You can throw a bunch of like alchemist fire in one backpack, throw that backpack, and create a huge bomb.
Damn.
Yes, you can just load your backpack
So wait,
up.
if you just throw like the entire backpack
Yes.
full
Yep.
of bombs,
Yes.
I should have done that at the
I
end.
didn't think of it.
I
yeah.
did something similar, I think, for the Gortash fight because I was like, this is really pissing me off. So I was like, I'm throwing a bunch of shit, and I put a bunch of stuff in bags, and I just shot it with an arrow.
And boom.
The whole room.
Yeah, I was kind of waiting to like not start the. I don't know if I don't think I'm gonna start the game again immediately, but like I didn't want to start another playthrough before we did our review, just because I didn't want. I just kind of wanted to do like
Didn't want to
one.
cross streams.
Right.
See, I did a similar.
But I'm looking forward to it. Honor mode was added. I mean, we
Yeah,
were talking
God
about,
bless
like,
you if
that,
you're gonna
dude,
try that.
I don't.
You can do it.
I'm gonna.
I'm not
gonna do
Is there a
it.
trophy?
That's a permadeath,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. It's like one save.
Are you gonna try
permadeath.
the Gale thing?
No, you can't quick save, like come back.
Right. No,
Like
no.
the second you go to save, it automatically blocks you out from anything prior.
You can end the game on Act 2 if you bring Gale to the tower and
Yeah.
and you
never-
technically, does that count as a
That's
completed?
That's,
See, that's
what I
what you
wanna
know.
know.
You don't
Yeah.
If that's the case, I'm doing that too, just for the
because
achievement.
like
and
that,
the
I'm like
dice.
that's like pretty doable, but I would definitely
Wow.
follow a guide with that for sure, and it would be like literal last thing I do.
Yeah, you'd want to go guide, and you'd want to do one of the crazy builds where you're doing like 2 fighter, 3 paladin,
Right.
like 5 this,
Right,
2
somebody
this.
has
Yes.
brought this down to a science, and like these are the meta
I
builds.
think it's
Oh,
like
I've listened to
I
a
think
couple of
Bard
these-
Paladin is like the best.
I heard
It's probably the
Gloom.
best, yeah.
Is it Gloomhunter Ranger? That's like,
Gloomstalker Ranger.
Yeah, I played a little bit of that.
yeah,
That
I hear
one's
that.
sick.
It's really good.
Now, so some of them where I was listening to where it's like 4 or 5 classes, and like
Yeah.
they take exactly what you need out of all of them. Like 2 levels in fighter is so OP because you just get action search
no, that's-
immediately on any class.
Oh
And
yeah, it was 2 fighter.
Yeah.
and I think it was like mine was like 6 or 7 Bard, 2 fighter, and then 5 or the rest in the Paladin. And you're
Yeah,
just
it's-
like you have a
right,
shit
I'm
ton of
multi-classing.
you have
Yeah,
a shit.
you absolutely
You have
want to.
so
I know
many
what I'm
fucking
doing.
actions. And
There's
you're
no
just
reason
like,
not to.
Do you think I should rework my class because I'm level 8 or 9 actually? I think. Do you think I should maybe go back and like put some of those classes on?
Yeah,
different,
so
like,
I
just
would look
restart.
through. Yeah,
I
so
mean,
go to
that's-
Withers.
That's like
Good
reclass
zero.
it, and then
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
And
Yeah,
then
yeah.
I would like look through the things and be like, all right, I need to get to this level because I want this feature specifically, and then that's
Guides,
it.
that'll
Okay,
Yeah,
I'm gonna
yeah.
have to look this up. That multi-classing feature really is fucking.
Especially because you said you want to try the Bard
Yeah.
Rogue thing, and so the one Rogue subclass you get an extra bonus action, and then as a Bard you get a 50 bonus actions. So it's like, oh my god,
And it is like I do appreciate how firmly set in D&D this is. Like you're saying, like with just the example of the alchemy fire. It's like, all right, I'm gonna put all these in a fucking bag and throw that bag. It's gonna be a huge thing. It's like. I didn't even I didn't even think I could do that, but you can
my
do that.
God,
I
yeah.
can
It
jump over
reminds
these walls.
me.
Like it's just so many little
with
things.
with the
There
owl
was-
bear dive and the like. Have you seen the
Yeah.
video where the guy dies as the owl
No,
bear?
not,
Yeah.
yeah.
Picks everyone up. Yeah.
Not even that. There was one where it was like
barrels?
something with the goblins, where it was like at some point in Act 3 where they're gonna set. Oh, yeah, they're gonna set the bomb off at the steel factory. I think.
yeah, okay.
So like as you can
In
you
Act
can-
3?
Yeah, one of the ways you can do it is like you can try to talk them out of doing it, and they're there. The goblins are there to like blow it up, and it was the goblins that you save in the prison.
Yeah,
In Moonrise Tower.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So-
with
so-
what's his name?
Yeah, so if you don't convince them not to do it, they'll go there, and the woman's gonna like set it off.
Yeah, I didn't have that.
And someone was playing the game. They were talking to the person who was gonna set it off, and they had like Astarion or someone not in party go stealth and steal the bomb.
Oh my god.
And then they went back and continued the dialogue, and they're like, "All right, you can't tell me what to do." And like they went to do it, and they're like, "Oh, what the heck?" They're like, "Cause he took the bomb.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
He disarmed the bomb like while you're in conversation, and it was like
Oh
a
my
whole
God,
other
it's
dialogue
crazy.
about like, "Oh, where's the bomb? Like, did you take the bomb? Blah blah." blah. It was like the fact they like added this
Yeah,
shit.
because I
in.
didn't mess with that at all.
That could
Like I
make you,
knew
like,
you
fucking-
I did that a
could
couple times to
do
set
that.
up. At
Oh,
Moonrise Tower, when like
Yes.
you go in, and you start talking with everyone. I switched to Jaheira in the middle of it and called down an ice storm and just
God.
fucked everyone's day up.
I ended up getting everyone Misty Step, and then from then on,
Yeah.
I had literally no problems. I
That's
would
a
just
fly,
start
dude.
every combat with just boom, boom, boom,
Yeah.
boom, and then everyone's where they
and
need
that's
to be.
what about that. Oh man, they just kept like doing. Like, I forget what spell it was, but it would like pull everyone in, and then they'd use like the fucking.
They use
tentacles.
darkness a lot. They use the
Yeah, I was
tentacles.
getting
Yeah.
fucked. But
That's why I gave everyone flight in Act 3, because I was like, once I got it, I was like, "Oh, you gained flight." I was like, "All right, everyone else is."
I know.
coming in my
As we're
party."
like jumping around, and Gail's just like,
Yeah, I was like, y'all can have flight. We're
Fly,
getting the
Fly
fuck
was
outta here.
awesome.
Yeah.
yeah. I'm interested to do a playthrough without that stuff because it did help, like Black Hole and some of those spells you
that's
get.
the illithid stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
they're
oh my
really
god, dude,
helpful.
they're so OP. It's
And
insane.
Playing as Karlach once she's in a Lithid, now that is OP. I mean, that's not something you can only do like end game but like when you become full Lithid, your powers are off
Wild.
the hook.
Yeah, you get
see,
mind
I didn't
blast
think
with a
Orpheus
chance
was
to
that
stun.
crazy. I didn't think Orpheus was that crazy.
You know what's
when he
funny?
was-
Orpheus was pretty bad as like a monk.
Right.
Like he's pretty base.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I made
Oh,
him.
He's the dude who's trapped in the prism.
Yeah.
Oh, he can become part of your party?
If you keep
At the
alive,
end,
he
you
does.
basically have to pick him or the Emperor.
Right. Okay, I got you.
Yeah. And he's the man. Like I gotta say, like I was gonna just turn him into
the man.
to an illithid. I was, and then his dialogue came on, and I was like, I respect this
was
guy
like,
way
I'll do
too
it.
much.
He was like, I'll do it.
Yeah, he was like straight up like obviously I don't want to do this, but like I'll do it. Like I'll save my
I was
people.
like, all right,
and I was
do
like,
it.
damn, I'm not.
So
I'm
I
not
said,
gonna
yeah, and then
stop you,
Lazel
bro.
was like, how could you, blah, blah. I was like, we not listening to the fucking conversation we just had? He said he'd do it. I was like, also, like, we're not romance.
Listen, I don't give a fuck about you, Karlak. All right? No.
I was like, I'm not making any of my other ones.
I didn't know if we wanted to talk more about the ending, like some of the the people you can gather. I guess we kind of probably had a lot of overlap in that regard, but and we didn't really talk about the epilogue. But like the epilogue was just like, hey, yeah, okay, yeah, because I was at it was at it later.
I finished it.
It's
came
not
out
like
later.
a game.
I know.
Like it's literally a cutscene.
Well, it's like you go around and talk to everybody.
Yeah, I guess you can walk
How's
around.
everybody doing?
It's a game.
You know, did you hear is like a harbor still. Halsin's like, back in the the Shadow Curse lands, not Shadow Curse anymore. And he's like,
The unshadow curse.
It was like ruined for me though, because at that point I was like so shook
far,
that I left Shadowheart. I couldn't believe it. Like I didn't get any
I
sort of
remember
closure
you
ending.
told us at D&D, you're like, I'm fucking pissed.
I had a good
like,
ending with Shadowheart.
See, I didn't get it because I went with Carla.
Yeah,
and
so
I was so mad
me
about
and
it.
Shadowheart like went on like our 6-month thing. Like I don't know, we were just
Yeah.
like adventuring
Little
together.
escapade.
Yeah,
Yeah, a little sexcapade too.
There you go. Bing, bang, boom.
you never actually get a sex
Wait,
scene
so
with
what happens to
Shadowheart,
Gale? Because I
really.
didn't find
No,
it.
that's
Did
what
you
I'm
die?
saying. You
Yeah.
don't get a sex scene with Shadowheart.
That's
That's
very
what I'm
surprising.
fucking saying.
Yeah, you do.
No, you
don't.
don't. You make out with her, dude. That's it.
You kiss her
You see her boobs.
in the first act, and that's really. Like,
we didn't talk about the dicks.
No,
at
no,
all.
no. You sleep with
How many
Shadowheart.
dicks are there?
Yeah,
I
but
didn't see
it's
many
nothing
dicks.
like the other
Dude, you can
ones.
see everyone's dick.
Oh, well, of course that. But
I
mean,
just
like,
can't believe I played the whole game without the jiggle feature.
Yeah, that sucks. Seeing those little willies waggle.
Oh, it's
they added
absurd.
that too. They
Yeah,
added that.
I know.
That
Oh, I've
was-
seen it. When I went to like when you make a character, it's funny. You spin like, oh, it's going. It's only the dick though, right?
No,
like
the boobs do too.
Okay, they
Yeah,
do it to the
yeah.
boobs.
The
I
breasts,
only check
if
for
you
the-
will.
for the
yeah.
dick.
Sure. Okay, whatever. By the way, make sure you send me those links for those mods. What? I'm sorry.
Oh, I have a question. Like,
Yeah.
since I didn't find Gale, what happened to him?
Yeah, so
Mister
Gale-
probably killed him, I guess.
So do you know his storyline?
I
Like,
like.
are you aware of
I
his?
killed
like,
the guy who was
Oh,
looking
well,
for him.
I've
or,
talked
like-
about the Netherese orb thing. You know about that,
Like
right?
I did his storyline without him there. Like I went to the place where like the
Oh,
school
with Mistra?
Yeah,
No,
where, like,
so the basis of the story is he banged Mistra, pissed her off, then tried to give her some sort of power, and then
because
she
he tried to steal a certain type of power.
yeah, so
right,
he
or
tried to
something.
steal a power and
like
give it
of
to
the
her.
old. Yeah,
And she was like, "Why would you do that?"
it was like a piece of the old weave or something like
Yes.
that, right?
and there's
Yeah.
some old dude who comes in and talks to you all the time.
I do
Elminster.
love
Who's
the
the
old-
old- that's an
Elminster,
old
another
famous
another
D&D.
I
another
fucking
big
love
legacy
his
character.
just
See, I
whole
never
style
really
kinda
saw
thing.
Yeah, he
That
the
was
classic
great.
wizard.
It
yeah.
really was. It was
Yeah,
awesome.
Elminster.
Where did you guys
Elminster.
meet him at? So you can meet him in a bunch of different places.
I met him as I went into the Shadowlands, if I
Yep.
remember
That's
correctly.
I
where
was
I met
right
him.
He was
before
on
the
the
Shadow
exit.
Hands.
Okay, maybe it was.
That's where I met. That's where I met.
I
Like,
can't remember if it was.
walking-
Bef-
It was
was-
like the zone in between Act
Yes,
1 and 2.
I
literally,
think
the
that's what
zone
it
was
was.
here, and he was just waiting for me.
That's
right
where I
there.
met the
Okay.
devil. I think
Raphael.
Raphael.
Oh my,
didn't
we didn't
talk
even
about
talk.
Raphael
I
at all.
missed that fight.
You didn't fight
Raphael is that
Raphael?
the
This
demon
song.
that keeps,
His
like,
song. That's
the
the best
devil.
song.
No,
in the game.
so I've listened to the soundtrack at least 1,000 times at this
You
point.
brought it up in like the first few weeks it came out, like Raphael's song.
No, that
Yeah,
was me. I think. Oh,
Yeah,
no,
I think
I
it
might have
was
said
you.
that was my favorite.
You were talking about it, but you're saying like it was a spoiler.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Because I'm in love with the soundtrack,
The
but
soundtrack is stellar.
I couldn't believe I
down,
did not
down,
witness
down.
that.
You say you never fought him?
No. So
my
the last
God.
time I saw him was in the prism, and then he comes in hot. He's like all pissed at you for something, and that was it. And then
Really?
yeah.
So you didn't go to like his?
No, I just never went to his hell. Like none of that
Dude,
ever happened.
the House of the Holy is cool, or House of Hope is cool.
Yeah, House of Hope is
I brought
sick.
Karlak there too, and she was like, "Get me the
Wait, that's
fuck
the,
out of
that's
here."
the doctor.
No. House
no.
House of Hope is Raphael's.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, I missed that.
in
whole
Act 3.
yeah,
thing.
yeah. So
It's like a house there.
What
and then,
triggered it?
You have to find it, and then there's like.
he gives you a deal, and then you can kind of backdoor into there. There's this demonologist
And you can bang him,
person.
right?
Yeah, now you bang like
not necessarily.
it's not him, but
it's an incubus.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it looks like he bangs himself.
Nice.
Nice.
Another person looking like him, and she can like switch genders and stuff.
Jeez.
It's pretty interesting.
I liked his character.
yeah,
That was
the
awesome.
soundtrack of this game is fucking phenomenal.
10 out of 10.
Yeah.
Easy.
I love being in the. Well, by the way, in Baldur's and Dark Alliance, Baldur's Gate 1, you go to the Elf Song Tavern, so that was very cool.
Oh, that's really cool.
So hearing like the song of Baldur was like really cool. That's about the game, by the way. I don't know if you noticed
Interesting.
that.
Yeah, yeah.
Because they there's I just brought the
That
lyrics
one's
up.
really good. The power is really good.
Yeah. You know, they say a knave, a wizard, a devil gift. The odds are cast anew, and yeah, it talks about the game, which is interesting because I'm like, because like the beginning is like, you know, talks about Baldur who founded Baldur's Gate. Just totally, yeah. The soundtrack is fucking phenomenal.
It's like, yeah.
It's an icing on the cake.
I for my Spotify last year, easy
Oh,
top,
yeah.
easy.
I love it.
It's fun. Like I think at this point it probably is like 100% that.
Well,
I listen to it all the
I'm
time.
sure with you in D&D too, that probably because you're
Well,
playing those.
At all times
yeah.
that I'm writing, I just put
Yeah,
on
you
the
play-
Baldur's
yeah.
It
No,
is
makes
so
sense.
Gate 3
good, dude.
soundtrack. Yeah.
That Raphael song is like my favorite song I think in like games.
Yeah.
Period. Like when the singing comes in and like
And it's like part of the fight too. I
And
actually
yeah, it
specifically.
plays like it repeats.
I haven't
voice
watched the
actor
scene at
starts
all because I
singing,
was
I'm
so
like,
mad. But I was like, I need to experience this
Yeah.
in game. So I was like, I'm not going to YouTube the scene. Yeah.
Oh.
Well,
didn't
I
watch
mean,
it.
it's not epic when you're watching somebody else fight to the song.
Yeah,
like when you're
yeah.
there, like doing the
No.
fight and that song.
No,
is
there's
playing.
there's a specific clip that I saw of like this woman who plays all the time on TikTok, and like one of her clips is like her first time fighting there, and just hearing the song, and like and then when the voice actor comes in, you're like, oh shit, this is him singing, like this is Raphael singing,
yeah,
like this
singing
fucking
while you're
sick.
fighting him.
So cool.
I mean, there's probably plenty we haven't talked
Yeah, you
about
could
and
go on
haven't
forever.
touched,
Yeah.
but it's pretty clear that we all love this game.
Yeah.
And it you know, it really defined last year as being like one of the best games or years in gaming ever.
Yeah, who would have thought? Like the games that came out in 2023, like if we on January 1st, the games
No,
that we knew that
absolutely.
were coming out,
That
and
would've hit it, yeah.
we'd be like, you know what? Nah, Baldur's Gate 3 was going to be
this big
Well,
the
thing.
best
I
of the
think it,
bunch.
like,
and that's why I think it's
You
so
know?
such a big deal
because it came out
Truly.
of nowhere.
It is.
Yeah.
And,
No-
and it was
nobody
an
expected it.
amazing game.
I always
year
had
for
my
games.
eye on it. Like I was gonna get it like before
Yeah.
the hype, and it sucks they delayed that PS5 launch because I was like had to like.
Well, I was
I
mad.
didn't want to get it on PC.
I was mad about that because specifically, like I knew about it in early access. I was waiting to get it, but then I had just bought a PS5 in 2023. So when I saw that they were coming out with it 2 months later, I was like, all right, I'll wait and get it for PS5. But then I saw that it wasn't digital, or it was digital
Just digital
only,
anyway,
and
so you're
that
like-
made me so upset.
I mean, it makes sense.
You know, I mean, like Alan Wake did a
Like they
digital
don't
only launch.
they didn't sell any like all the Steam versions. Like
Yeah.
their entire release was digital only.
Yeah,
It's 60.
yeah.
You know?
It's $60.
No,
right?
it's 70.
It is 70.
It was 70,
See,
yeah.
that's the one thing
And
where I
I-
did give Alan Wake a little bit of a forgiveness on that. Like
was 50
it was
bucks.
$50.
Yeah.
Because I'm sorry,
Okay.
that does a lot of the. You're not paying the printed disc anymore.
Yeah.
So that
yeah,
does like.
it's funny because the game is so good that it's same with Alan Wake. I
Oh,
feel
yeah.
like even our review, we didn't talk about that at all. We forgot.
Yeah.
But it was just like the game was so good, it didn't really matter.
It's cool that they're doing a physical release.
Yeah, I have a
absolutely.
I just
pre-ordered.
always
I'm
want the
excited.
option. That's
Yeah,
all. I just
exactly.
want to be able to buy it.
Larian's not a big studio. Like,
Now they are.
Yeah, now
they're
they're.
gonna.
But
be.
even
Like,
still,
just like
like
Witcher,
I'm
you know,
sorry, I
like
don't think
CD
that's
Projekt-
like an excuse.
CD Projekt
If you're not
Red-
a bit like people were printing discs all the time.
but
what for
nah,
for their release?
But
Yeah.
No.
Divinity didn't have a physical release. And
'Cause
Divinity,
Sure, I
PC
should
Yeah.
say in
PC
general
games
for
don't
them,
have
I guess
discs.
there's more of a precedent. I'll give you that. That makes sense. But
Yeah.
I
But
think
also
in
it's
general,
like-
when you say that, like, I don't think that's an excuse for Remedy. Like, I guess the
Yeah,
excuse for
yeah,
me.
yeah, yeah.
Wow, for
I like
kind
what
of
you're
like-
saying though, because the fact that there's no price difference with no physical release, I think is a
It
problem.
doesn't make any sense.
It's a problem.
It really doesn't because
Yeah.
you are part of that is
yeah,
the disc. But
I agree
will,
with Trio.
and I
yeah.
will, you know, obviously counter that to the degree of like games just increased price for the first time in 15 years. So like,
they're 60
okay,
forever now,
yeah,
so-
like fine.
But
I
it's
get
so funny.
inflation, but-
Game prices are so inconsistent. Like Banishers was $50.
Well, sure, and again,
And Alan
I
Wake
would
was
love,
$50
but again, I would love to
Helldivers
see
40
companies
bucks.
lean
Yeah,
into
it's
stuff like that,
weird.
where it's like we believe this is $50. Like even Helldivers, that makes a little bit more sense just being an online only game. I do think like
and digital.
Yeah.
No, it's physical.
Well, no,
Sorry,
but
sorry,
I just
it's
think
physical.
like companies should. I would love to see companies get more comfortable with scaling their games, but people start getting freaked out if they see $100 game.
Yeah.
They'll be like, "What is this?"
But think about it like this, actually. Since Baldur's Gate or Larian is doing a physical version of Baldur's Gate, and it's $80, but it comes with all these Gotsa deals
No, I think
and
it's
all,
awesome.
all this cool stuff, which I really like. But they make it worth your time buying the physical game because it comes with all the stuff you wouldn't get with the digital version. I like that. I wonder if anyone else is going to be like, yeah, our physical version is the deluxe edition, but it's base price. But the fact that you're kind of sacrificing, I mean, every time a new game comes out, this happens to me of like waiting for the, like my Final Fantasy VII Rebirth came a day late, but I was just like,
Crazy.
what the fuck? Like how? Like I'm
and
getting,
then I have to
I'm
suffer
getting,
through at GameStop.
I'm getting punished because I bought the most expensive version of the game, and it happened to come a day late. Like, what the fuck's wrong with this? This is like makes no sense.
Well, Gooch, they're getting all that free, quick money on those digital sales, and they get all of it. Oh,
right, and then because I didn't buy
especially
digital,
with like Sony and
I
stuff
can't
like that.
play
But
it.
Yeah, that's a
I
good
can't
point.
play it at
Larian's
midnight.
not exactly like they're still getting money taken out on Steam, of course, but
Yeah,
Steven
Yeah.
Sony takes
Sure,
part
but
of it.
but I am
Yeah.
interested to see what Larian does. Like again, they're in a Witcher, a CD Projekt Red moment from Witcher 3 to Cyberpunk. Do they fuck everything?
Do you think they'll
up,
go
or
right
no?
for Baldur's
Move on
Gate
to the
4, or do you
next
think
thing.
they'll go to Divinity 3?
I think they go Baldur's Gate.
I think they should make something new, whatever it is. I
I-
don't think they should worry about DLC for
I
this
think
game.
they should do an
I agree.
expansion for Baldur's Gate 3.
Yeah, I don't agree with that.
I'd rather have another
I think
game.
not utilizing what they have there is just a waste.
But
I
why?
think
The
it's
game
a
can play
statement
itself.
though of
Because I
like
don't-
we put out a complete game,
I agree.
and I think that is
I
so
see, but
important.
I'm not
right now.
saying like the expansion would be wholly its own thing. Maybe you can play the expansion without even playing the base game. Like it really
Sure,
is
you're
an
talking
expansion.
I think it would have to be.
Yeah,
I think it
but
would
here's the
You
thing:
know?
you just put in like 200 something hours into Baldur's Gate 3, and you could put in another 200 and play a completely different like game.
Right,
Pretty
but
much.
then
no, an
I'd
actual
rather them
different
spend
game.
time on the new next thing than adding to the old
it's
thing.
just curious.
Yeah, I
Like,
agree. I
like
agree.
they have to like even CD Projekt Red when they did Witcher 3, they have to be a smaller team.
Yeah,
Like-
but Witcher 3 and like the DLCs and that was like the era of DLCs. Like,
Yeah, they
had
were still in that
two,
era. They did
and,
Hearts
like,
of Stone, which was like the add-on, but then Blood and Wine was like the
Yeah.
expansion.
I know,
of
so-
it.
But that
I
was an
still
era
think-
when like every game was coming out, and then it would come out the DLC.
But I do
It doesn't
think
happen
RPGs
these
are
days.
they've always been that. I don't think that has
yeah,
gone away.
Baldur's Gate 2 has an expansion.
No,
It does.
No,
Yeah,
I mean, but that was like
okay.
part of that era. Like these days,
I mean, even Elden Ring's getting. An
I still think
expansion
it's
that's
normal
coming
these
up.
days for
Yeah, but
a game
but
like that to
the
happen.
Elden Ring DLC is I wouldn't call it an
Look
expansion.
at
I would call it
Horizon
a
Zero
DLC.
Dawn. Like I think those are very normal for big open world RPG like games still these days. Like
Yeah.
it's not the
Yeah.
same for like your Call of Duties and stuff like that. Of course, where you get your map packs or anything like
Yeah,
that.
that's like totally gone by
Yeah,
the
but
wayside.
like I don't know. I still think major like story expansions
But yeah,
still exist. I mean,
it-
Spider-Man 2, Spider will probably get DLCs.
I would like to
Yeah.
go back to like I
Spider-Man
played 40 hours to the original Divinity on PC and I could not get into it. But again, I like had no idea about D&D. I've heard a lot of good things about Original Sin 1 or sorry, Original Sin 2.
Yeah, I want to play too. I listen to a lot of the soundtrack for
And
D&D
I know
games,
there's
so.
a lot of other CRPGs like Pathfinder and Solasta, but I what sucks is I think Baldur's Gate ruined all those games because of possibly how high
Well,
quality.
Pathfinder
this
is
Sure, and
just
it's a new game.
another tabletop RPG. They have their own computer one too.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Pathfinder's a tabletop game.
It's this. Yeah, it's D&D's biggest competitor in that. It's
They
the
have a video
same
game,
basic.
yeah. And,
Yeah.
It's like
I just saw an
Kingmaker.
ad for a Dune like D&D game, and I was like,
Yeah.
there's
Yeah,
a,
dude,
there's
it's-
a
yeah.
Dune
Holy
game.
war, let's do
Yeah.
it.
There's a Dune game in the '90s called Dune.
yeah.
Dude,
And-
it's 2000, right? Came
There's,
out
there's a lot of
2000.
really
No,
good
one in the
franchises like that
90s.
No,
could
for sure.
do
Somebody-
D&D,
oh,
like,
Actually, I'll flame somebody from our Dune hot take. Somebody got mad at us on our rewind review because we didn't know about the Dune game for the 90s.
I think the comment
no.
was like,
Like,
"Did you guys even Google
Google-
Dune
I'm like,
before
are you
that?"
fucking
It actually
kidding
made
me?
me laugh. I thought it was
It
hilarious.
was funny, but
yeah,
I'm
that's
just
great.
Like, I was like, dude,
Why-
like, why are you getting mad at us? Like, we were like barely high.
It was like one of the like that.
was such a
I literally
funny-
just watched a video about this like
Apparently,
2
it
nights
is
ago.
big. Yeah, I
So
do
the
need to look into it
OG
more.
Dune game is like fucking exceptional apparently.
What?
And then
Yeah,
like,
that-
and then the
like-
Dune 2 game is like the precedent for like RTSs.
Interesting.
wow.
Really? Who's it made
Yeah.
by?
I don't know.
All right, well, that's
But
gonna
it's
be
like-
a YouTube
it-
video I'll watch later tonight.
Yeah.
I'll link it. It wasn't like the first RTS, but it was like the one that like set them on their way.
Right, sure. Kicked it off.
How did they not do Baldur's Gate 4? You know?
Sure.
They're gonna.
Well, but,
I
I
think
mean,
there's no way they go back to Divinity. There's
Yeah.
no fucking way.
yeah,
Well,
unless
here's-
they do like a sci-fi one instead.
Here's the thing: if I don't know how much bigger their studio's gonna get.
A lot bigger. I
Well,
think.
but we're in the
have
era
the
where
money.
like studios are
True.
fucking collapsing. So I don't
True.
know if they're gonna, hire all these people.
Double up.
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna do that personally. I think they like their size and they can do it on their own terms. If they were to get a little bit bigger, maybe they put a team.
they're definitely gonna get it.
Maybe
Bigger in some.
maybe they have a
capacity.
team start something in Divinity and then they have the rest kind of do Baldur's Gate. Like they kind of have two projects at once now. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean
We'll see.
that's definitely possible, and then plenty of studios do that. I think if developers can learn one thing from Baldur's Gate, and I think Spiders, who's doing Greedfall, is doing that. Release your game in early access.
well, especially for a
Yeah.
game
It
like
makes your
this.
game a lot more polished. Clearly,
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I think it benefits.
I think there are striations of that in the way of like, I'm trying to think like what, I don't know, Elder Scrolls 6. Do you put that out in early access?
No. Oh, Elder Scrolls. Sorry, I was thinking
Yeah.
Elden Ring. Elder Scrolls 6.
Or even like
no.
another Elden Ring, like something like that. Do
Yeah.
you put that out in early access?
But like, here's the thing: like
I think it's these
Starfield,
unproved studios that
it's funny,
should.
but like Starfield, like would have
better
that would have
for
been
it.
more.
Yeah.
100%.
I would actually
Yeah.
agree with that too. I think that
100%.
would have.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like, but like,
So
you know,
that's,
could you
that's
imagine
at the base of my question is like, should those studios then start
Yeah,
doing that?
but you're
then
not
it's like you're
gonna.
not gonna because
You're
gonna
why
ruin
would you?
part
Yeah,
of
Take
it.
the
Larian
title.
again.
Yeah.
Larian was in this position where they had their cult following
They were in
from
a sweet
Divinity
spot.
Original Sin,
Yeah.
and they released Baldur's Gate 3, and
also
they
it was
had
like a
the-
franchise that like existed before that wasn't their franchise.
right, and nobody was like, "Oh, Baldur's Gate! Oh my God, Baldur's Gate!" Like nobody was like
it
that.
was like a
Yeah.
decade.
Right, there was a
plus.
sect. You're right. There was a sect who
Sure,
were probably
sure.
really hype about it, but like and even Greedfall 2 going into early access, nobody fucking cares.
I'll play it.
It's
I wanna play
yeah, sure, but like it's not an Elder Scrolls game where it's like
Sure.
holy
That's
shit.
what I'm saying. It's
Elder
not like-
Scrolls 6 is in like early access,
It's
and again
funny, yeah.
like I could see the Kotaku and Polygon headline.
But like those games, they'd 100% benefit. But like you can't do it for those
Yeah,
games.
you can't.
Yeah.
And I that that's like the.
I
Yeah,
think
that's-
that
That needs
I agree.
it,
I
it
do
needs
agree.
like the
There-
surprise
there's
factor.
but
the
Penza,
has
you're
to
right.
have it,
Starfield like could have immensely
1,000%.
But
benefited.
again, I think every game could
Yeah.
easily, like especially with a game like this, where you're building out all
Yeah.
these different choices and all these interweaving storylines, and like, oh, I just found out this storyline's broken. You guys need to fix
Yeah,
that before they,
especially if it's a
and I'm
deep
sure that that's
RPG.
what obviously that's what game testers are for.
Yeah.
But and maybe they have a small army enough to do that at these places. But I mean, these game companies do in-house like reviews before these things go out. They know what they're getting before
know.
they send these games out most of the time. So it's interesting.
Yeah, I guess Rocksteady knew how bad Suicide Squad kills the Justice League.
Oh, but again, there's this weird. Yeah, I'm sure.
maybe
they did.
that could have benefited
Well,
from
dude,
early access.
I mean, again, that's a whole nother podcast on its own. It's just like those are the types of examples that just show you how fucking stupid some of these people are running these countries and
Sure.
companies in my
running
opinion.
these
Running these
fucking
countries
countries.
and these companies.
Absolutely.
Like you didn't see that? Like what? And like these types of releases would absolutely help that out majorly. But
Yeah.
there's steps.
Last thing
Yeah.
I'll say, it's going to be interesting to see, like, going off Penza's point, like gaming in the future, because like the game industry is literally like detonating.
It's the tech
I
industry
still-
in general. It's not just gaming.
No, yeah, for
it's
sure.
entertainment.
for sure.
entertainment.
But gaming,
Everything, to a degree.
7,000 layoffs in 2024
I
for
do
in
gaming.
the gaming industry? Wow.
But I do
That's
think,
insane.
I
It's
a
think
crazy
net
number.
they're still net positive in the way of like since the last year,
Right.
And they're still above like where they were before they hired technically.
But I guess my point
which is weird.
was like, how does it change development cycles? I mean, Trio, you hate notoriously long development cycles. Like you
Sure.
talk about
Yeah.
that all
No.
the
Well,
time.
I hate when things are announced very early.
Like
No,
Elder
but
Scrolls
and I
6?
do like yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. No,
I agree
absolutely.
with that.
Like
no,
what?
I 100% agree. Like Death Stranding.
Yeah,
like,
it's like
and
that.
it's
Did you
funny.
say Death Stranding?
No,
That's what I
no. I
thought.
said Elder
Like
Scrolls
there was
6.
like
Oh,
that
yeah.
the third
and
long?
it's see, but even
Elder
that,
Scrolls
like,
6 isn't even
that one
out.
No,
doesn't-
Death Stranding.
Oh, Death Stranding was like 4 years, I think.
Wow. Okay.
I will say that one doesn't annoy
Like,
me
that's
in the
not
way
that
of
bad.
like
We know it's
because we
coming.
know that's
I
coming.
know.
Like, it's like
Elder Scrolls
GTA
6 is
6.
going-
Like
Yeah.
if they just because they did come out, and I guess they did it because of the leak. But if like Rockstar came out 5 years ago and was like, we're making GTA 6,
like,
we'd be
yeah,
like,
no shit.
yeah. Thanks, guys. Can you go finish that?
Elder Scrolls 6 is going on, I think, 6 or 7 years.
And again, that
Yeah.
wasn't even in like, and
It's
again,
maybe
that is a
year 8.
fair,
Right,
great
that
example
video
of like
was
the thing that I hate.
stupid. Yeah.
And
Yeah, they
you know
should
what's so
never do
funny
that.
because
Just the
looking back
mountains
at
and just
that,
said Elder Scrolls
Right,
6.
yeah, it's great.
looking back
Thanks,
at that, I
Todd.
thought that was after Fallout 76 debacle, but that
No.
was when they announced Starfield.
Yeah.
Like, it
Yeah.
was like so
At
they
the
were
same
just
time.
Anyways, that's a whole
blowing
other
their,
thing.
blowing their
But,
load.
um,
yeah.
Yeah.
And again, I think, you know, there's a major issue in the gaming industry with development cycles and how much money is put into these. And like Spider-Man 2 cost like 300 million, or was it 200 million? Like something wild. And like, you know, that's a major studio where you have a ton of people
Halo
working
Infinite
on.
apparently costs $500 million, dude.
I'm like, and
Really?
Yeah.
like, I'm sorry, those games do not dictate that. And I just wonder how much of that is like,
I don't get like
full-on
where that
idiots.
money's going
Yeah.
to.
because
Like,
you see something like a Remedy create Control 2 or Alan Wake. That's like a crazy, it's like an $80 million budget. Fucking amazing top tier games.
I'm
and
curious-
I think a lot of it does come down to management and like people just.
I don't know where that
fucking
money
suck at it.
goes.
That's what I mean.
I mean, I can
think
see him
it's
though.
just-
Entertainment,
Like
in the
salaries
And you
industry
just
right
have
now.
80
I
people on top
guess,
being like, well, actually, I mean, you see in the movie industry with all the CGI
Well,
now,
what
it's like,
Godzilla
oh, we
-1 just happened.
just built
Yeah.
out this entire
That's
thing. We don't
crazy.
like that. It's not testing well. Rework this entire level.
that's
and
what
stuff
a
like
lot of
that.
the movie
so
stuff
like,
is.
and even with games, it's just they're ballooning these budgets in a way where it's like, I'm sure that has to happen, but like most of it, I can only imagine is just bullshit, stupidity, and lack of planning. And I mean, dude, look at I'll bring up Dune again. That is
Least
the
I'm not
perfect
gonna-
example of a creative feat that they leave in the hands of someone and they fully trust someone. And I know you
Yeah.
can't do that to the degree with a game. There's so many people involved, but like, I don't know, man. The
To a
gaming
point though,
industry
you
needs
can
a
at least
major
give
issue.
it to someone who's gonna direct things in at least a
Well, they have
cohesive
to trust
way.
them too.
Yes.
Is the unfortunate
we
thing.
saw that with, like,
and that's
Gord
where it
Ball.
doesn't
Marvel,
happen.
Yeah.
Marvel clearly trusts Insomniac to make, Marvel games for the next 15 years.
But also, they're
I mean,
giving
same
them a
with
big
Star
chunk
Wars
of
with
fucking
EA.
change.
Like they
Yeah.
Well,
sign
now
it away
EA's
for
backing
that.
out of that now, which is the big thing. They're stepping up. They just canceled a Mandalorian game that they were making.
Wow.
They're stepping
I
away
didn't
from
even
all
know
these
that.
IPs because, dude, it leaked from Insomniac. The licensing fee they have to pay Marvel is
God.
wild.
It's
like
fucking
it's insane.
insane.
And I can't.
Wow.
It's like that's
no,
part
no.
of the budget. in
Oh,
itself.
for who? Wolverine?
No, for Spider-Man.
Yeah, but
'Cause
Sony owns.
they don't own the video game rights. They own the movie
It's
rights to
very
Spider-Man.
weird how that all works.
They only own. They
So
only
Marvel
own
still
film.
owns 100% of that?
They own they own the comic book rights. They own the TV show rights. They own. And the only thing Sony owns is the right to put them in a film.
That's so crazy.
So that's why they have to still get the license through Marvel. And that's why even the shows like Marvel's putting a Disney Plus like Spider-Man animated show, they can do that because they own the TV
animation.
show, right? And the animation rights.
Yeah, wow.
Well, actually, I think it's the TV show rights because obviously they're doing Into the Spider-Verse and all that.
Yeah.
All that shit can be just a headache and a half, though. I could go on another rant for 5 minutes. But anything else, guys, on Baldur's Gate 3 here?
I think we got everything.
I think
yeah.
that was a meaty 2-hour podcast.
Yeah.
And I just
Yeah.
want to say cheers. It was a lot of fun.
Mike
yeah.
Mandell, Matt Penza, thanks for coming
Yeah,
on.
guys.
Appreciate
Thanks
it.
for having
Thank
us. Yeah.
And thank you all so much for watching with us live on twitch.tv/Delco Nerd Network. We really appreciate your time. You can find this podcast anywhere podcasts are found. Just search Delco Nerd Network. We are also on all your favorite social media pages. Everywhere with an @sign, we're at Delco Nerds. We got a Facebook page, Discord channel, all that good stuff will be linked down below. You can also feel free to email us, delconerds@gmail.com, with all your comments, questions, or concerns. We'd be happy to get back to you. You can find all this information on our website, delconerdnetwork.com. For Gooch, for Mike, for Penza, I've been Trio. Thanks for watching, guys. Stay nerdy. We will see you next time.